Well, the Mariners pick up a huge win last night over the best team in baseball, the LA Dodgers, on their home field. They got it done despite a rough outing from Luis Castillo. 5 home runs later, they find themselves in the win column. They look to win the series tonight when they send Emerson Hancock to the hill. You can catch it all starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame show, 7:10 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 7:10. Some finals from earlier today. Marlins take out the Phillies 8-6. It was the Diamondbacks shutting out the Pirates 3-0. The Blue Jays over the Nationals in Washington 5-2. Mets take out the Braves 3-2 in game 1 of a doubleheader. Took 12 innings, but the Orioles got it done against the Tigers 10-9. The final in that one, and just 2 games going on right now. Brewers are trailing the Giants in San Francisco 3-2. That one in the top of the 5th, top of the 4th in San Diego. No score yet between the Rockies and Padres.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. Another beautiful, sunny summer day outside, made even more beautiful by the improbable win of your Seattle Mariners over the LA Dodgers on the road, a place where the Mariners have not been good. And, of course, in typical Mariner fashion, they go out and beat the best team in baseball. So
of course they did.
Talk about that. We'll talk some NFL. Frank Schwab, Yahoo Sports senior NFL writer, will join us at 3 p.m. today. Talk some Seahawks and NFL with him. Daniel Kramer of MLB.com will join us on the show at a yet-to-be-determined time. You guys can text in 866-979-3776. All of you that predicted the win, come on in, take a victory lap.
Well, I think you did, because you said that would be the most Mariner thing ever.
It was kind of the least. It was surprising only because, they got off to a bad start, and Luis was not sharp last night. It was not a good outing for him at all. And, going into it, if you would have said, well, would you be stunned if they won this game? We talked about it. No, because that's just how they do it. It's their trend, if you will. They fall to the teams you look at and go, they should just absolutely pillage this team.
You mean like the Royals?
That's exactly right, Dave. Did you know they're 1-5 against the Royals?
Yes, I did know that. I think that team gets under your skin almost as much as the Houston Astros.
Yeah, I don't hate the Royals. I just hate that they have dominated the Mariners, and they're just not a good team. But, of course, on the road, where the Mariners have not been good, right? Yeah. They've struggled on the road this year. They've had a really hard time. Even after last night, they are 23-32 on the road. Not a good road team.
No.
So you factor that in. You're playing the best team record-wise in baseball. I think they're now tied at 67-40. But
with the Brewers,
with the Brewers. But going into that game, they were 67-39, best record in baseball, and a dominant home team. They're 31-20, and you get off to a terrible start. Shohei Ohtani, home run right out of the gate. Luis Castillo, not sharp, gives up 5 runs. But they just kept coming back. They're down 1-0. Here comes Cal, hits a home run, ties it at 1-1. They're down 2-1. Here comes Julio, home run. And they find a way to win.
Yeah.
You're going, all right, yeah, that's about right. And then you get a guy that was activated yesterday that brought about feelings of great joy. Rob Refsnyder, and I have to give him credit. I've ripped him, said it's not working. He is not fit. He has not done what they brought him in to do. He has said as much. But then, lo and behold, his first game back, you get this.
The 3-2 swung on, cranked, left field, down the line, stay fair, off the foul pole, gone! Sail away, Rob Refsnyder. Welcome back. A 2-run home run, and the Mariners have the lead. It's 4-2.
And that's big because they needed it. They needed all those runs. It got a little sketchy there at the end with some poor defense from our guy Victor Robles in right field. He's a very good outfielder. He botched a play in a big way last night that cost him a run, and all of a sudden there's Shohei Ohtani on third with nobody out. You're going, great.
Yeah.
Great. They're going to at least tie this game because, somebody's going to hit the ball in the air, sack fly, he's going to score. And they were able to get it done. It was amazing. And, the home runs were great. How about Dom Canzone?
Yeah.
No cheapies, by the way. He launched both of them, and including the one that tied it at 5-5.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, cranked, center field. It's hammered. It's on its way. It is sail away. Dom Canzone, dead center field. We are tied again. Home run derby for the Mariners. Their 4th of the night. 5-5 Mariners and Dodgers.
Like, as soon as he heard it, he goes, hammered.
Great call from Gary, always. And Rick, they do. I love listening to those guys. But, yeah, it was, I don't know. He kind of embodies the sort of frustration that I think every Mariner fan has. Like, Dom has like a spark and just like an attitude. And you've seen like now twice where he's kind of stared it down and flips the bat down. Like, yeah. Like, that's what you just want, somebody to be like the alpha male. And, you know, that's what Dom Canzone has been. And it's been so much fun to watch him. He's a great dude. Not the greatest outfielder, but like at the plate, man, like you said, there's no cheapies with him. He just blasts the ball.
He's got some serious pop in that bat, and he put it on display. And we'll talk more about him. But what was, in your opinion, Dave, and you guys can text in 866-979-3776, the bigger surprise that the M's offense as a whole stepped up on the road behind a bad start from Castillo and fought their way and covered him. I mean, usually we've talked about it. Pitchers cannot make a mistake. They cannot have a bad game, right? There's no slack for any of these starters. Right. If you have an off day like Kirby the other day or like Luis last night, typically that game's over. But so what was the bigger surprise? The fact that they were able to pull this one out of the fire and win it despite his outing, or that Ref Snyder came up with 2 hits, including a home run?
I got to go with Ref Snyder. I mean, definitely. That was one that just – and remember, you know, when he hit his first one, and I was telling Lefko in there, I was like, I don't remember the middle two. He hit one at Sacramento at the A's. And then, you know, that first one was against Texas. And then I think the other one was at St. Louis. So,
yeah,
I mean,
I don't really remember him either.
Yeah, because when, you know, he hits home run, I'm like, oh, that's his 4th. I don't remember them having 4 home runs, but that's just because it hasn't worked out for him. So you can see, you know, like he was unleashing some frustration there.
Yeah, and he said there were some comments from him talking about how he feels really crappy. He used a different word about how he's played, and look, it's not lost on him. He gets it. He gets it. The fans are frustrated with him, and he hasn't done what he was brought here to do. Yeah. So with the time that they're going to give him, I don't know how often he's going to be in the lineup, but it's good to see him have some success. We talked about it yesterday. I don't, you know, as much as we joked around when you were like, oh, you're in a bad mood now that he's in the lineup and all that. None of that is personal. No. You know, when we saw him talk, and we haven't had a chance to interview him, but, you know, just up there, he seems very conscientious. He's aware. He seems like a guy who's grinding it out, and he's as frustrated as anybody. So I root for anybody that's wearing the uniform, man. I don't care what your name is or what your age is or who you are or where you came from. If you're wearing that Mariner uniform, I am rooting for you. Right. I do not care. If I predicted you to go forever, I want you to hit home runs left and right. So I love that he did that.
Good for him. You feel just like a sense of relief for that guy because, especially when you hear him talk, and he's very humble about it, and he's like, you know, self-effacing, like, I didn't even have a number for
a batting average
for his average. So I mean, you just feel for guys like that. But I don't know. I mean, maybe the more important thing is that Julio and Cal.
Well, that's what I was going to next. Is as much fun as it is with Canzone's been amazing. We'll talk more about him in a sec. But Ref Snyder, great, awesome to see him come back, have success. How big was it to have Cal and Julio go deep in the same game? Both have some success. Both have show some power. And both their home runs tied the game, right? Yeah. Cal tied it at 1-1. Julio's tied it at 2-2. So it came through in a situation where you needed it, certainly. And by the end of the game, every one of those were crucial, obviously, because you won by a run. So, I mean, getting those two guys just feeling good. We've been talking certainly more about Cal, but Julio, too, hasn't had that pop. You know, he's been coming up with hits, but the damage hasn't been there. So to see them both do it in the same game, to me, is huge. Yeah, because, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, the wrong guys are carrying the team. Like lately it's been like Cole Young and it's been Dom Canzone. But to have them
those two guys homer at the same, in the same game. The last time it happened was April 11th, and that was a home game against the Astros that they won 8-7. So, they needed every bit of that. And same thing with last night. And yeah, it's just kind of frustrating seeing those guys with, along with Naylor. Really, I saw a thing this morning on MLB Central where last year the WRC plus season comparison. So last year Cal was 161, so 100's about average. This year he's 71. Naylor, throwing him in there, he was 128 last year, 99 this year, and then Julio Rodriguez 126, and he's 114 right now. So at least he's above the average. But those three guys, I mean, those are the guys that need to get it right. So it was really nice seeing Cal and Julio get home runs in the same game. I thought maybe that was the more important thing than just Ref Snyder, just because Ref Snyder is, you can't expect him to go up there. Well, I guess you can. I mean, based on his numbers as far as hitting lefties. But I thought that was the more important thing because, you go back to April 11th. This is the very start of the season when those two guys both homered.
Yeah, it's a huge moment. Now, does it carry over? We'll find out. Yeah, that's what we hope. We talked about that before. When Cal hit the grand slam, you're like, all right, here we go. That's going to be what gets that fire lit, and it wasn't. Now we see last night, both of them going deep, and it both crucial. You needed it. It wasn't just icing on the cake. Both home runs came in a situation where it tied the game. So does that carry over to this game throughout the rest of the season, the 54 remaining games? We're going to find out. But you just fingers crossed. You hope so because they desperately need those guys. They have to produce. That's just it. You're not going to get there without that. You might one of them not producing, you could probably overcome. Both of them, no. And that includes Naylor too. Who, by the way, did you see him wincing in pain when he was swinging last night at the plate and looked like his hand or wrist or whatever's going on? He was doing it again. Like he swung and then you see him grimacing and he's kind of flexing his hand, and then at the end of the at-bat he swung and missed, and then he just drops the bat, and he was still in the game. I thought they were maybe going to pull him or something, but so I don't know what he's dealing with. I don't know how much of that is impacting him, but he was very demonstrative with whatever was going on in his hand or wrist or whatever's hurting.
Yeah, that kind of worries you a little bit, but it certainly didn't seem to affect him because those, the three guys that I just mentioned, and then you add Ref Snyder in there who got two hits. But, yeah, I mean, he's the other guy that needs to step up and to produce a little bit more, and he got two hits last night, so nice to see. But, yeah, that's always – because that's the one thing that's really – you don't have Brendan Donovan because of injuries. And then, you've had Cal out of the lineup because of injuries. Julio with the concussion and everything. So
just about everybody. JP's been out. Canzone's been out with a hamstring. Randy's been out with a hamstring. Yeah,
did Colt Emerson, I think.
Colt, yeah. He didn't play last night. I mean, JP was not supposed to be in the lineup. That was a last-minute switch with the lineup. So, yeah, he's the only one that's played every game has been Cole Young.
Yeah.
So – yeah, it's you can't afford to.
Yeah, he hasn't missed a game, has he?
No.
Yeah.
So as far as we can talk about them not producing and not doing this. You still need them in the line. You still need that threat. You need Naylor, who's getting hits. He's just not. He's not hitting for any real damage yet. He's not a traditional home run hitter. You're not really looking to him the way you do Cal and Julio to do that kind of damage. But yeah, I don't know if he's dealing with something. But it was very obvious last night. But Canzone, what a great story to see this guy, and maybe he's just a late bloomer. I mean, he's going to be 29 years old, but it's only his third year in the league. So he doesn't have a ton of experience, and maybe we're starting to see that maturation, and he's starting to turn into the player that people projected him to be. Still, he's not a great outfielder, but he's got that pop at the plate, and last night he came up huge when they needed him tied. Again, kept going back and forth. They take the lead, Mariners come back and tie it. They take the lead back, Mariners come back and tie it. It's tied at 5-5, and then he comes up again.
Here comes the pitch. Swung on, hit high, deep, center field. Has he done it again? Warning track wall, sail away, Dom Canzone. He has done it again. His second home run of the night, and the Mariners have the lead 7-5. Dom blasts another one dead center field. An unbelievable night here at Dodger Stadium.
Against lefties, Dave.
Yeah.
Both off of lefties, and he's now hitting against lefties. Now, obviously, dramatic difference in plate appearances. 231 at-bats versus righties, 35 versus lefties. But in those 35 at-bats, he's hitting 286 with a 444 on base, 657 slug, 1102 OPS. He's crushing lefties. And this is a guy that early in the season when he was hot, when Rayleigh was hot, I was pounding the table, leave him in. Your lineup is not hot, and you don't have enough bats in the lineup that are functioning right now to take out the hot bat versus a lefty. They're not going to get better by not facing lefties. We were screaming about this.
That was about the time of that San Diego series.
Is that when it was?
Yeah. Down in San Diego, and, they pulled Rayleigh, and I can't even remember who they put in for him, but.
Probably Refsnyder.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was.
Probably. I mean, he's your right-handed bat. That's what you brought him in for. But, I mean, just what was frustrating me, and look, I think it's fair to ask, well, what if they left Rayleigh in versus lefties? Would he improve? Would he get better? Or maybe he'd be bad. I don't know. But when these guys were both rolling, and they each had times where they've been red hot, where all of a sudden they're sitting them because there's a lefty on the hill, and it would just seem like, oh, it's automatic. They're no lefty, they're out. I'm just like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're going to put in a right-handed bat who's got nothing going, nothing working for him, and you're going to take the guy who's red hot right now and just seeing that ball like a beach ball, and you're going to say, I've got much more confidence, and I can live with their 0 for 4. I'll take it because I just have more confidence that they're going to get something done ahead of the guy that's gotten nothing, who looks lost, who looks like his timing isn't there. But it was just this automatic button they would push, like, oh, lefty on the hill. All right, here's our right-handed lineup. Yeah. And to me, that was the big mistake that was frustrating me with Dan. That it seemed like it wasn't even really a consideration. It was like, nope, this is our right-handed lineup. Lefty on lefty doesn't work for us for these guys. Like, well, they're hotter than anybody in your lineup by a long shot at the time, and you're pulling those bats out. I hate that.
Yeah, I'm loath to criticize Dan too much about the decisions, because a lot of times, he makes those decisions and he's right, and nobody ever notices that. But that one did kind of bother me, and I did complain about that, just because, if you're hot, you're hot. And so, and then, you have like guys like Cole Young that, you're not even considering that. Left on left is fine. But, I mean, I thought last night, especially
JP, Naylor. I mean, you got a lot of lefties that you leave in there.
Right. So, I just thought it was awesome seeing Refsnyder get going. Julio and Cal need to, continue this kind of, go ahead and have, home runs in the same game, both of you. And then,
go ahead and do that.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. You're available to do that, as Mike McDonald would say. And then, kind of made up for a shaky outing by Castillo. But that's okay, as long as, you get your offense going. And that's, and he's going to have some good outings. But, when he has one like that, you gotta pick him up. And I just loved seeing that. And also just like if it's Julio and Cal, maybe it's not Naylor. If you have a guy like Canzone or maybe Cole Young or whatever that can pick it up, then you got three guys that are hot out there, and that's what they end up getting done. And Refsnyder and Canzone kind of being the auxiliary guys there that fill in around it. Now Cal struck out 3 times, and he went 1 for 4. But I mean, you just need that power, and it's okay to call on your offense every once in a while. And it's been brutal to watch. So I think that there's going to be a big repair offensively, because last week we were talking about how they averaged in the slash line like number 28 in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they're just a horrible offense. They've been absolutely atrocious since the beginning of June. Of the worst offense in Major League Baseball. So it's last night was great to see. Hopefully we're not celebrating this one moment of glory and then we're back to the doldrums and they can't score. And you went up against a tough pitcher last night and a guy who was on an absolute roll. That's not the case tonight. But we've seen pitchers come in there and with a 5.9 ERA, and you're looking at them, their last 3 starts, and they're just getting lit up like a pinball machine, and somehow they look like Cy Young against the Mariners. So I'm not saying that's who they're facing tonight, obviously, but that's part of the trend. Yeah, they'll beat a good team out of nowhere, and you're going, where did this come from? I'm just hoping they can continue win the series, and we'll talk about what it means to Dan and does it buy him any grace or or decisions being made behind the scenes. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good way to start on the heels of what was a dreadful, dreadful series against the Rangers. All right, let's take two.
The Mariners are facing another lefty tonight, Eric Lauer. Lineup not out yet, so we'll update you when that does come out. Interested to see if we assume Refsnyder's back in again after that night. But Eric Lauer gets to start for the Dodgers. Then, amidst some heated rumors spicing up there about the Mariners pitchers, Emerson Hancock gets the start for the Mariners. A lot of talk that we can get into a little bit more at 2:45 about this potentially being his last start with the Mariners.
Yeah, this could be his last start. That could have been Castillo's last start last night. We talked about that. We'd heard the stories of the Mariners wanting to trade Castillo and willing to eat part of his salary. We don't know how much. I don't think last night helped. They're bargaining. I don't know how much stock somebody will put into that one game, but that's not the last impression. You wanted him to go out and just shove and just look dominant if they're trying to trade him. Obviously, that would make him more enticing, but we'll see. Hancock's been brilliant for this team this year, so hopefully he can keep it going tonight if it does turn out to be his last start.
Yeah, like Mike said, at 2:45 we'll talk about Emerson Hancock. I just heard the stat that they've had since 2024 10 starters. 10 starters since 2024, and that's exactly, and you've got controllable players as well other than Castillo, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does, and maybe whether or not this is I don't want to say his last game. We won't even say that.
Well, this could be some good news for the Mariners. Brendan Donovan is expected to be activated as early as Friday. Yesterday in Tacoma, he's continuing his rehab assignment back with Tacoma. Went 2 for 5 and had a home run. So maybe another guy coming off an injury like Refsnyder could be a boost to the Mariners lineup.
Are those his first 2 hits?
No, so he finally got one over the weekend.
Did he get one? Okay.
And then he had one the night before. So he has hits in 3 straight games now. This was his first multi-hit appearance and his first home run.
But he had 3 games where he didn't get a hit, right? Was that how he started out?
Oh, no, he started out rough. It was
had
more than 3,
that,
I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's on a 3-game hit streak.
Yeah, and we had somebody text in the show yesterday who said, Donovan just hit a tater. They put in capital letters. So
it's good to see.
Yeah, that's great to see. So hopefully, hopefully physically he's recovering well and he feels normal. There's no limitations. He can run and sprint and plant and cut, do whatever he needs to do, and get up here and hopefully be a contributor for this team.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get healthy, and then we'll just pine away for Matt Brash. He'll be the next one to come off the list.
It's going to be a little while, but yeah. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, we've got, we said who's coming up on the show, right? Frank Schwab at 3 o'clock. Yep. Daniel Kramer will figure out what time that's going to happen, but we've got some insight on what will look different for the Seahawks offensive scheme this year. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Just 5 days out from the trade deadline.
We honestly don't know yet what direction this is going to go.
This might be that time to once again go for it.
I agree. Now's the time for the Mariners to go out and be aggressive.
Deadline countdown. Just 5 days.
An additional bat would go a long way.
Yeah, I can see this going down.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Hey, here's one for every homeowner listening. It's Dave Wyman here, and Fast Water Heater has kept our water warm since 1986. That was just before my rookie year. You're talking about 4 full decades of serving our neighborhoods, and now they're part of Fast Home Services, applying that same standard of excellence to your whole house. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, the name you already trust, keeping your family comfortable, safe, happy, and healthy across the entire house. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds. Water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Join the Mariners at T-Mobile Park August 7th to 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. Friday, post-game, catch the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers. Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. On Saturday, arrive early to witness the greatest gathering of Mariner legends in franchise history. And Sunday, score a collectible 50 Seasons pin thanks to KeyBank.
It just continues. 505.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
My goal is what's best for the customer. You know, I truly believe that I won't ever deviate from that.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing love telling you no. No high-pressure sales pitches. No Band-Aid fixes that will fail come wintertime. No outrageous pricing from some corporate-owned roofing company with headquarters thousands of miles from here. 3 Tree Roofing is local, family-owned, and their team will build you a worry-free plan for your roof replacement, completely free. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and call today to say yes to an additional $500 discount. That's 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey everybody, it's Rick Riz, and I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. You want to weigh in on what you saw from the Mariners, what you think they're going to do as the trade deadline is rapidly approaching. We got Game 2 against the Dodgers coming up tonight. All of that is there for you, as well as the Seahawks, who are in the midst of training camp. They've got the day off today and get back to it tomorrow. We're doing, I don't know, have we talked about it Friday? We're doing a split broadcast. So, Dave, you're going to be out there at the VMAC. I'm going to be at T-Mobile Park.
Maybe we should switch it up just to be, crazy. I go to baseball and you go to football.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
Oh, you want to be with me? Sitting in a small booth for 4 hours.
Right now.
Exactly. That's why the split happened.
Is that why the motivation for that was the motivation for that comment? You were secretly saying, well, why do you get to be with Lefko? I want to be with
thank you,
Lefko.
Dave.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did say that. I think I get Trev. So.
Oh, and he's such a wild card. He's such a pain.
I know he is.
He's
he just walked out. Actually,
he's very fussy, very high maintenance.
He's always yelling at people.
Yeah,
he's just aggressive. He's always so aggressive. No, he's really the opposite.
We're describing the opposite.
Yeah, he's
Trev.
He's very, very quiet, very, very kind individual.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Leonard Williams was talking about some of the changes he noticed. It was interesting to get. I think it's interesting to talk to guys on this defense about the offense because they're going up against it. They're seeing it. How different does it look? And we talked to Byron Murphy about that the other day. If you guys missed that conversation, Byron Murphy is always a great conversation. Definitely check that out at seattlesports.com. But Leonard Williams yesterday was talking about, some of the differences that stand out with the Seahawks offense, this year with a new coordinator and Brian Fleury.
I would just say a lot faster. The way they're attacking the ball, the way they're having pre-snap communication is on another level. I feel like oftentimes, I've been a part of great defenses, especially here, where the defense is like the more loud, rowdy ones. We're like getting to the ball really fast and stuff like that. And our offense is really challenging us this camp because they're getting on the ball fast, sometimes catching us out of a stance and things like that. So it's been a great battle so far in camp.
Yeah, maybe the best thing that this offense has going is that they're going up against that defense every day. So, hearing it from now, look, he's obviously going to, keep it positive and everything. But, the way he's describing it, they're going fast. Usually you have a new offensive coordinator coming in, new terminology, all that. You would think maybe it would be a little bit mechanical and a little bit slower. Mm-hmm. And, it's looked really good. So that's a huge endorsement coming from Leonard Williams. But again, can you imagine an offensive line having to go against those guys? There's no drop-off, really. Leonard is a special player, and so is Murph. There's no question both those guys can be all-pro players. But it's not much of a drop-off going to Jay Reed and Riley Mills.
And Derek Hall. And
then the guys on the outside as well. So, it's that's good to hear because, again, it's typically when you're not sure, and if they're going up, they're getting up the line quick. Like he said, it's a faster tempo, and you got to be careful with that. Sometimes what offense was it? Was it Grubb where it was like hurry up and go 3 and out? Kind of. They would kind of, that's one thing that if you are going to go fast, it can sometimes be like, you're not, chewing any time off the clock.
Yeah, if you're not executing, you're going to gas out your defense.
Yeah, so that's nice to hear because, and again, I'm sure Leonard is just, he's being positive, but he offered up that information, really. He didn't really, it's not like anybody.
Yeah, he wasn't prompted for that, but he was asked what he saw that's different. Now, he also said something here that when we talked to Byron Murphy, said the same exact thing when we asked, well, what do you know, anything different to you? And he talked about the motion. There's a lot more motion. And here Leonard Williams explains all the pre-snap motion that the offense is using.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more motion, like fullback motion, tight end motions. Sometimes the tight end is in the fullback position and vice versa. So it's definitely keeping our defense on our toes, and they're switching it up a lot. Sometimes they'll motion 2 tight ends to one side and they'll run the ball that way. And sometimes they'll motion 2 to one side and run the ball the opposite way. So, you can't really guess. You got to really just read your keys.
Yeah, they both mentioned the same thing about all that motion, and we've talked about it as it relates to the 49ers before and how they called it the illusion of complexity, and it sounds like he's bringing a little bit of that here. Now, is it effective? We'll find out. As a guy that played on the other side of the ball, that can confuse you at times or make you question, all right, wait, where am I supposed to be? Or, this guy's moving here, this guy's moving there. So I don't know. Do you like the idea that they're going to be, I don't know, presumably, at least to this point, it sounds like they're much more active on that side. They're much more aggressive with it.
Well, all of the experts that talk about, that running game, and what I'm talking about are coaches and, head coaches, and then, some of the, quarterbacks and everything, is that all of that motion isn't just window dressing. It's for a reason. And it's because you're able to get angles, blocking angles on players kind of on the fly, as you motion. And so it's not just about motioning. It's about getting angles and being able to get an advantage. But it's difficult, when you're a defender and you've got, all of a sudden. I just remember every game I ever played in, there was always something I'd never seen. And then
they didn't show on film during the week.
On film. You go to the sidelines, try to work it out, and it sounds like that's kind of what they're trying to build. So
is that when Boz would point when guys would start motioning?
Yes, he would do that sometimes.
Wouldn't say anything, just point.
Well, yeah,
that guy's moving. That guy's moving.
I think it was Mike Singletary that used to do that, and I think Boz thought it.
But they were
cool.
saying something, right? Was he? He'd be saying something when he was pointing, right? When he say. I don't know.
I don't even know if he would say anything. He would just point.
Well, no, Singletary. I mean, there was something behind him pointing like, hey, fullback's in motion, or hey, watch this guy, whatever he's saying there. But Boz would just do it silently.
Or, say, hey, this could be a run or a pass. All right? No.
Get ready. I'm telling you, it's one of these two.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely, I mean, again, it's not just for show as far as all of the motioning. And that's one of the things that you hear a lot about that 49er offense.
But isn't that's kind of counter to what he said before, the illusion of complexity.
Yeah.
He made it sound like it kind of is window dressing at times.
Yeah. Well, maybe, sometimes that's the case, but more than anything, what they're trying to get done is not so much fool the defense, but you're trying to get angles and, put yourself in a better position via motion.
So it makes me think of Peyton Manning when he'd have all the gestures and everybody's going, that's all nonsense.
Yeah.
And then you'd hear from other people go, well, actually, some of it had meaning and some of it was nonsense to confuse to get the linebacker to bite on something because he looks like he's motioning this guy or hey, signaling this guy or whatever. There was a lot of gesturing going on there that was probably 50% nonsense.
Well, and like Leonard said there, I mean, they'll motion, they'll put heavy tight end, then motion the tight end to the heavy side, and then run the weak side. Yeah. So that part of it is, trying to fool the defense. Yeah, which is. To be at that point already, at this point in camp, now I'm sure it's not like the most polished that they want it to be, but just that he notices a difference there, that they are doing that kind of thing because, you like to keep it pretty simple. The less said in the offensive huddle, the better, but if you have all of these words and you're trying to, trick them by going in motion and all that stuff, that sometimes can, usually you're not there at this point in camp. So we'll see. We'll see when the preseason games start and everything. But, the offense and just how they operate will be interesting to watch. And, this is, again, third offensive coordinator. And really we're not going to know until we get into the games what kind of play caller he is.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that does he have a good feel for that and how to set plays up for later on. And, you see that kind of thing all the time.
All right. Coming up, the trade rumors are getting louder when it comes to two Mariners pitchers. We're going to get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Just 5 days out from the trade deadline.
We honestly don't know yet what direction this is going to go.
This might be that time to once again go for it.
I agree. Now's the time for the Mariners to go out and be aggressive.
Deadline countdown. Just 5 days.
An additional bat will go a long way.
Yeah, I can see this going down.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
It's motorcycle weather. Look outside. Beautiful sunshine. I rode into work today. I've been riding every single day, and I plan to continue to do that as long as the weather allows. But with that comes risk. I totally understand that as a rider. But it's good to know I've got somebody watching my back should things go the wrong way. That's Law Tigers. Law Tigers were born from a passion for the open road. For over 25 years, they've been doing this. And they saw something 25 years ago that every rider knows, a community that has each other's backs. They were built by riders, for riders, protecting what matters most, your freedom, your family, and the ride. So if you find yourself on the wrong side in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. They get it. They're there for you 24/7. They're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced. They know how much those things mean to you, and they know that every ride you take, your freedom could be on the line. So should you find yourself in that spot, the Law Tigers are the answer. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Cook Law Office, PLLC, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
Hey, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. You know our customers have a lot of fun with trying to figure out new and creative ways to use closeout bifold blanks to fill their needs. They can also be used as small double door units, access doors that are pre-hung, and even bypass doors. And with thousands of closeout bifold blanks in stock in Marysville and at our Bargain Barn, you can put your creative DIY mind to work. Come visit our showroom and Bargain Barn in Shoreline or on Cedar Avenue in Marysville. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
When an emergency happens, be the first to know. Alert Seattle helps you stay safer and connected. This free service includes alerts about severe weather, safety, health, utility disruptions, major traffic accidents, and more. If you live or work in Seattle, Alert Seattle is the city's official emergency alert system. Sign up for text, email, or phone alerts during emergencies near your home, work, school, and more. Text Seattle to 67283, alertseattle.gov to learn more and sign up.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports. Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the Seattle Sports app or go to seattlesports.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
That's seattlesports.com/win.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best?
The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends this Friday. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Cascade Machinery and Electric has been the Pacific Northwest's trusted industrial machinery expert for over 100 years. And right now they're hiring outside sales representatives in Alaska, Washington, and Oregon. If you're an experienced seller of industrial equipment, highly motivated and have a skill for building relationships, a rewarding career is waiting for you. The salary is competitive. The benefits are great. Visit cascade-machinery.com/careers and apply today. Cascade Machinery and Electric, powering the Pacific Northwest since 1918.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, Daniel Kramer from MLB.com will join us on the program, talk some Mariner baseball with him, so stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, we were talking about the Mariners' big win last night over a team that, frankly, I'm guessing Dodger fans out there going, how are you losing to this Mariner team? What's going on out there? Their starter gives up 5 runs, gets lit up, and you guys somehow fall to this team. What's wrong with you?
Do you think that they
Actually, I don't think they're that passionate.
Yeah, that's true. Not many passionate LA Dodger fans. But do you think that they think about us the way we think about the Royals? Or I should say you think about the Royals?
I don't think I don't know. I mean, who knows what's going on in their mind, but I would say no, because the Mariners are still in the thick of it. They're in the worst division in baseball, but I don't think they look at them as being as dreadful as the Royals are. Mariners were 8 outs away last year, so I think there's a little more credibility. I don't know. I do think there probably is there's some passion in the fan base. I'm kidding about that, but I'm guessing there are some angry Dodger fans feeling like, hey, man, their starter gave you an opportunity to blow this thing open, and you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they're worried about their spot in the postseason the way the Mariners are. They have different concerns. But, yeah, I'm guessing they feel like they should have won that game. And Castillo didn't deliver. He didn't pitch as well as you were hoping he would pitch, and they still found a way around that. They didn't do that. Kirby went out there and laid an egg. They weren't unable to find a way to do it. The offense was MIA that night. So, that was a game that by all accounts you feel they should have lost. I mean, they're just not an offense that's built to come back. Especially, look, the home runs are awesome to see. I love seeing home runs, but you can't live and die with those. You've got to find a way to manufacture runs, and that's where they struggle. They struggle with 2 outs. They struggle with runners in scoring position. Night like last night is awesome, and I'll take it every night, but you can't count on 5 home runs.
No.
So they've got to find ways, and maybe it'll be at the trade deadline. They're going to, hopefully acquire a right-handed bat that they feel is going to help them. Now, what's it going to take to get them? I don't know. We've heard that they would trade Castillo, and they would be willing to eat part of his salary. We don't know, again, how much of that. Emerson Hancock is one that's his name is starting to come up a little more often, and Jeff Passan was talking about his availability and outlines why he expects Hancock and not Castillo to be the pitcher that the Mariners do trade.
The Mariners would like to use a starting pitcher to go out and get a bat, preferably a right-handed hitting bat, not a whole lot of outfield help. Maybe they go for an infielder there. This also could be Luis Castillo, but he's owed $22.75 million for next season. And with more control for Emerson Hancock, who's under control through the 2030 season, and the cheap price of his salary until then, it makes a lot more sense that the Mariners would deal Hancock. I do expect him to go.
I don't know. I fall on the side of I don't think that's a good idea. I'm sorry. He's controllable. He's had some fantastic games. You look at against Toronto, we won that game 4-0. Goes 7 innings, 0 earned runs, just 2 hits. I don't know why you would trade him.
Because he's got value, and you feel like you've got pitching coming up with the young guys we've been talking about all season, specifically Cade Anderson. So
But, you know, we always talk about it. I know it's kind of a cheap way out, but we don't know, right? I mean, we see all the numbers and everything and, you know, JP Morosi would probably disagree with me because, you know, he said, look, Cade Anderson has the kind of numbers that are like, they're legit. Like he is a legitimate call-up. And, yeah, I don't know. Emerson Hancock to me is just what a great, you know, great find, great development, everything. I don't know. I'm against it.
You don't want to see. I don't want to see him go. He's been their most consistent pitcher this year, but I think that you have to deal from a position of strength. I mean, who else? I know you want to trade Castillo. I'm sure they'd like to trade him, but because of his age and because of his salary, that makes it that much harder. And the return isn't going to be presumably not be as good unless you're going to eat a big chunk of the salary, which I'm guessing the owners would rather not do, but. So Emerson is going to bring you more in return than Luis will.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't want to see them part with any of the guys, but I think they're betting on their future, saying, all right, we've got these young guys ready to come up. But you're right. They're right now they're bottled promise. We have no idea what they'll be at the big league level. They look like they've got everything they need, especially, you know, again, Cade Anderson is much more dialed in at this point in the minor leagues. But does that mean that's who he is at this level? I don't know.
Yeah,
he's unproven at this level. We have no idea. You're betting on it, and that's what they'd be doing if and when they trade Hancock.
Yeah,
you're betting on the fact that this guy's been really good for us. He seems to be coming into his own. I don't know if they project him to be he's a 2, a 3, a 1. I don't know how they view him in the future, but they're betting on the fact that we're going to part with him, and we don't really want to, but we've got these young guys, so we're going to be fine.
Yeah, I guess, you know what, I think I have Aaron Curry shock still from, he was the 4th overall pick in 2009, right. That he's just a fantastic college player. Fantastic.
Got to the NFL and looked lost.
Just lost. But, yeah, I don't know.
Well, the Mariners have had that, too. I mean, you know, remember, it was, who was it? It was Paxton Walker and Danny Hultzen. And Hultzen was at the time projected to be the most major league rated. Now, it wasn't that he didn't pan out so much because he wasn't good. His injuries got to him and everything. But bottom line, you have no assurances that these guys are going to be the way they're going to live up to your projections. You know, you go back to Ryan Anderson, the little unit. You know, he was supposed to be the next coming of Randy Johnson. Right. It just never happened. I mean, so as good as somebody can look at the minor league level. I mean, geez, Vogelbach, he'd go down there and just wreck the place. And then he'd come up here, and he was that guy. You know, it didn't translate.
I remember Vogelbach, I can't remember, was it Jerry DiPoto maybe, where he's like, he has raked at every level. And
I'm sure he said it because it was true.
Yeah. So, yeah, you just never know that part of it. So, I don't know, I like Emerson Hancock. I think that's, you know, they're doing things that, again, 10 starters since 2024, just done a fantastic job with the pitching. And I'm all for just hanging on to those guys. It just depends on what you get in return. If you get, you know, somebody, but I don't know. You know, we've heard a lot of different scenarios about right-handed bats and everything, but I don't know. This is just the sort of bird in the hand.
Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. I get it. He's proven himself at this level. You know what he can do at this level. He's a proven commodity. The others, you have no idea. The other part of this is, he was never really part of the conversation when we were talking about the young arms. Like, all right, we know of the 4. He wasn't one of the 4, right? We're talking about Gilbert and Wu and Kirby and Miller. Mm-hmm. He wasn't part of that conversation. And even in that, we're going, they're going to probably keep 2, maybe. Yeah. They're not going to be able to re-sign all 4 of those guys, assuming they stay healthy and productive. That price tag is just not going to be in their ballpark. So we were talking about which of those 2 are going to be gone. So, and I still think that's true. I still think, barring injury, they're all healthy and productive. They're going to have to make tough choices with 2 more. So we have to get. I mean, this is kind of a new tough choice that we hadn't anticipated. We weren't even thinking about, what if they deal Hancock? Because at the beginning of the season, I think we all would have been like, yeah, I like him. He fills in nicely when somebody's hurt, and you can bring him out of the bullpen. He seemed like a nice complimentary piece, but it didn't feel as big of a blow as it certainly does now. So, yeah, we got to get ready for bigger body blows coming down the road. I don't think they're signing all 4 of those guys. So buckle up. It's coming. Meanwhile, we'll get a sense of what's going on around training camps, around the league, all of that. His thoughts on the Seahawks. Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports is going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man?
Put in the work every day, you know.
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
Pacific Power Batteries understands batteries for golfers, batteries for your car, your golf cart, and your bag's electric cart. We also sell good, used, 5-year-old E-Z-Go and Yamaha golf carts with a written satisfaction guarantee starting as low as $17.99. Located in Everett, Marysville, Mount Vernon, Bellingham, Monroe, and Wenatchee, you'll find our staff is well-trained in batteries and the latest charging technology. Pacific Power Batteries, with batteries for golfers.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as... Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get the big win over the Dodgers in Game 1 of the series last night. They look to win the series in L.A. tonight when they send Emerson Hancock to the hill in what could be his final start for the Mariners as we approach the trade deadline on August 3rd. We'll see what happens after that. But tonight, he's going for the Mariners. He goes up against Eric Lauer. You can catch it all starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame show, 7:10 first pitch. Right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Finals from earlier today. Marlins beat the Phillies 8-6. It was the Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. Blue Jays take care of the Nationals 5-2. Mets over the Braves 3-2 in Game 1 of a doubleheader. 12 innings it took the Orioles to get it done, but they beat the Tigers 10-9. Games going on right now. Brewers getting hammered by the Giants 10-2. The score in that one. And at the top of the seventh. Top of the seventh in San Diego. Padres up on the Rockies 3-0.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, training camp is well underway as we've been talking to two players about players getting prepped and ready for the Seahawks' defense of their Super Bowl title. And here to talk about the Seahawks and everything else going on in the NFL, does a great job covering the NFL for Yahoo Sports. Their senior NFL writer, Frank Schwab, is with us. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Doing great. Appreciate you taking time as always. And I'm curious to get your perspective as an outside set of eyes, if you will, looking at the Seahawks team and just hearing and seeing what's being talked about and written about them. From our point of view, it feels like the national sort of perspective on this team is almost as if they got lucky last year. Like, yeah, they're a good team, but the Rams are really the team that should have been there, and the Rams are certainly the favorites this year. And it's I don't know, the conversation feels like the Seahawks weren't quite as good as a Super Bowl champion should have been, or somehow it gets discounted. Do you get that vibe at all?
That's really interesting because I was just writing my preview on the Seahawks and kind of touched on some of these themes that to me, the Seahawks are, I'm in analytics. I follow it as much as anybody, I guess. And analytically, the Seahawks are one of the, not just a good champion, but a great champion. One of the greatest champions ever. Analytically, they were through the roof. I mean, as you guys, everybody knows that. 3 close losses, two blowouts in the playoffs, 1 close win against a really good Rams team. I have nothing against the Seahawks, and I think they were a great champion. But I wonder how they're going to be remembered, because when we think of the great champions in history, when we talk about the Niners or the Cowboys, we remember big stars, great quarterbacks, even the defensive-minded teams like the 85 Bears, 2000 Ravens, 2002 Buccaneers had these like big outsized personalities on defense. The Seahawks, to me, were just a great team. And you look, JSN's a superstar. There are a lot of really, really, really good players on that team. But Sam Darnold's not Joe Montana. We're not going to remember, like, wow, do you remember Sam Darnold leading the Seahawks to a Super Bowl? And so I wonder if it's going to get murky over the years of how great the Seahawks actually were. It reminds me a little bit of 1991 Washington, that Mark Rippon was kind of this out-of-nowhere success story. But analytically, 91 Washington was as good as any team in NFL history. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out through the years on how Seattle's remembered. But I'm one of those who believes Seattle was a great champion, while also saying I do believe the Rams are the favorite this year. You don't add a Myles Garrett and even Trent McDuffie to a team that was really, really, really good and not put them in the pole position right now. I have to make the Rams a favorite. I think they are the best team on paper right now. But that's not even discounting the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are the second best team. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Seahawks end up winning the NFC West because it's that close, winning another even Super Bowl because they're really well coached. A lot of the pieces are back. It's just I have ultimate respect for what the Seahawks did last year. I do like them coming into this season. I just like the Rams coming into this season a little bit more.
Yeah, I get it. And Stafford, MVP of the league. I mean, that also is another thing that you have to take into consideration. One player that maybe people look at and go, yeah, he doesn't really have the stats. Devin Witherspoon. What I'm curious, Frank, what you think his value is, and just where are you with how valuable that player is?
Yeah, as far as just among cornerbacks, he's easily top 5 for me. Just because he's so versatile, he was a perfect fit for Mike McDonald. He can really do it all. He's just been a good player, for Seattle from the time he was drafted really high. Happy to see him emerge. As far as what that means for his value, as far as around the league, you always pay the pass rushers a little bit more, but right after that, a really, really good lockdown corner. I think he'll be the highest paid cornerback in NFL history at some point in his career. And I think he's better than Trent McDuffie, who is the highest paid corner, so I have to say that. I think he's really, really good. He's the one guy on that defense, and there's no respect to Ernest Jones or Leonard Williams or anybody on that fantastic defense. He's kind of the one guy where I look at that defense and say, if there's somebody who's going to make a Hall of Fame out of this defense, it might be Devin. He needs a little more PR, let's say. I think he needs, maybe a funny nickname or something, because I don't think people really realize how good he is. I think he's tremendous, and I think people are going to start realizing that. I hope so anyway, because he really stood out last year as one of the best players at a really important position.
Just as far as the way this team is coached, it's interesting to see the impact that Mike McDonald has had in a very short amount of time, obviously winning a Super Bowl in his second full season. But we're on the third offensive coordinator for this team. And, we're kind of wondering, all right, what does Brian Fleury look like? What does the offense look like? What does that speak to, one of the things Dave and I have talked about in regards to the head coach is his decisiveness. When something's not working, he doesn't, let's see how it plays out kind of thing. He just makes changes. And he did it with Grubb, the offensive coordinator the first year. He did it with the linebackers that they brought over in the offseason, in the middle of the season. They bring Ernest Jones, who's been a stud with his team. So I'm just curious now when you look at how he's coached this team and, more importantly, how he's made decisions as it pertains to the roster and the coaching staff. Does that stand out to you?
Absolutely. I thought moving on, and especially for a young coach, I mean, he's young in age, and as far as experience, he'd only been on the job 1 year as head coach when he realized this isn't the offense I want. I'm making a change. I don't know that a lot of not rookie head coaches at that point, but a guy going into his second year would have made that bold of a move. You want to see it through. I hired this guy for a reason, blah, blah, blah. But I think he saw the opportunity to get better. He just wasn't happy with the results. So you move on, you do something else. I think that his decisiveness is one of his key traits. He's an interesting guy. I mean, being around him Super Bowl week last year every day, with the media availabilities and stuff, he's just so soft-spoken. He doesn't seem like the guy who's going into a locker room and kicking chairs and getting the team fired up that way, but I think is just absolute genius at football, really, and I truly mean that. I think he's genius. That, I think that guys respect that immediately of, oh, yeah, this guy's putting me in the best position to win. And so when he makes a bold move like that, I think guys say, hey, McDonald knows what he's doing here, so we'll respect that. And I think that rubs off on your entire organization when you have a coach who's respected like that and knows what he's doing. And now, this wasn't his choice really to move on from Kubiak, obviously. That's a bad part about being a Super Bowl champ. You lose free agents, you lose a coach like Kubiak, you got to adjust. But I think Mike McDonald's in a position where he's going to adjust. For a guy, it's kind of crazy. He's only been head coach for 2 years now, because it just seems like he's already kind of on that McVay level of, hey, this guy is the future of the league. This is what other teams are going to be looking for when they make their head coaching hires. I have a ton of respect for Mike Macdonald.
Yeah, he is a really interesting guy and kind of unlike a lot. And, it's kind of surprising every once in a while. You'll see him light up some players, out on the field. You see he gets pissed. So, yeah, it's interesting, his personality. What about Frank, what about the salary cap for the Seahawks? They've always done a good job with it. But, now you got Leonard Williams, his contract is coming up after this year, and you got Spoon. You just paid JSN $168 million. Do you worry about that? It just seems like John has always been able to manage it, but is it going to hurt here coming up pretty soon?
It always does. I mean, that's the challenge, but we just talked about their division rival, and doesn't seem to bother the Rams. Like, good teams figure it out. They have wizards in their front office to figure out the cap. And in the Seahawks case, going back to what kind of champion are they going to be remembered as, right? I just think that when you have a team that doesn't have a ton of bona fide superstars, not a ton of surefire Hall of Famers, and I don't think any surefire Hall of Famer right now, that kind of helps in this. When you got a bunch of guys who are just really good at their jobs and really good at their roles, I don't think you're overpaying a ton of guys. Yeah, JSN's going to blow the budget out. I get that. And I get that, Devin's going to make a ton of money, and other guys are already making pretty good money. But I don't think it's one of those situations like the Rams or Lions. Lions are a really good example where you're paying kind of 10 guys, really, really top of the market, that kind of contract. I think the Seahawks are going to be able to manage it, kind of because they don't have a ton of stars. And the ones who do have to move on, like Kenneth Walker, you just kind of trust the program. You just trust your organization that, hey, yeah, there were 4 guys this year that left the Seahawks who got $12 million somewhere else per year. That's a respect. I mean, that shows these are good players, but you look and you say, the Seahawks are so good at developing, drafting, finding the right fits that I don't think this inevitable salary cap issues are going to bother them that much. And I don't think their salary cap issues are going to be as bad as, say, the Rams or the Lions.
When you look at the Seahawks, is there an obvious, weakness or just a question mark in terms of a position that you look at? Because we were talking about that going, all right, yeah, Kenneth Walker leaves. You got a rookie running back you drafted with your first-round pick in Jadarian Price. We don't really know that. That's not settled. We don't know how that's going to look, especially with a new OC there. But just looking position by position, it was hard to find something where you looked at as, man, they need to fix this, or they need to address this, or they need to improve on this position. Is there something that stands out to you when you look at this roster that's in need of improving?
No, and let's be very quick on one side of the ball. Defense is going to be great. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think there's any worry. I don't think there's any concern. The defense is fantastic. Period. McDonald will have them, at top 5 level again. So you look at the offense, and I do think it's not just the running back itself, but it's the whole philosophy of the Seahawks. They really like to run the ball. Like they want to run the ball and play defense, and Sam Darnold's going to make his plays when he has to. And I do think that is an issue when you lose a Kenneth Walker. You don't know how Charbonnet is going to look when he comes back. He pretty clearly he's rushing back. The chatter they might be available in week 1 almost kind of scares me. Like that's a quick turnaround for a running back coming off an ACL. So that does worry me a little bit. And what if that position's not producing? I mean, Jadarian Price, again, Schneider's a great GM, but it's pretty clear they reached on that pick. I don't think anybody really thought Jadarian Price was a sure, no doubt, first-round guy, but they needed a running back so bad they grabbed him. What if he's not that great, especially right away? I think if the running game's not working, then it puts more on Sam's shoulders. And for how good Sam was last year, he did have some turnover issues, right? Like he puts the ball in harm's way a lot. And I think when he's pressing, he can do that more. And I think one other thing that concerns me is just the Seahawks in general didn't have many injuries last year. I think they were 3rd last year in the fewest injuries on their team. What if JSN misses games? I mean, so I've very rarely seen a good team put so much of their passing game on one guy's shoulder. He's great. JSN's awesome. Like he proved that, even when you know it's coming and I'm getting 35% of the targets, it doesn't matter because you can't cover me. But what happens if he's out? Is A.J. Barner or Rashid Shaheed going to really carry a passing game? So that's the question. Running back, receiver depth to me, if it doesn't have as a JSN, and just the running game in general. I think those are the 2 concerns. But again, these are kind of first world problems. I think the Seahawks are going to be just fine. This is nitpicking a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's valid, and we talked about it last year, and they're on their third offensive coordinator in as many years. So, yeah, that's always always a concern. What about the rest of the NFC West? Bob and I did kind of a little 10-minute video on the 49ers, and this is a tough division, but like I think people might be sleeping on the 49ers. Where do you put them as far as not just in the NFC, but just the entire NFL? Where would you have them ranked? Because they had a lot of injuries last year.
Yeah, I'm worried about them, to be honest. I'll give them full credit for last year. I think Kyle Shanahan was robbed of Coach of the Year, to be honest. It's rare to see a team overcome that many injuries and win 12 games. I believe they won, maybe 11.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive. But the core is a year older, and just because these guys are coming back doesn't mean they're going to be 100%. Just because George Kittle's going to be back on the field week 1, if he is. He's coming off a torn Achilles at age 33, I believe, and Bosa and Warner and all these guys, and just the age. At some point, Trent Williams is not going to be the baddest man on the planet, and I just worry there's some chance that they just slip this year. It could go the other way, where you say, well, they were 12-5 last year with all these injuries. Kyle Shanahan's still a really, really good head coach. Why do we expect the 49ers to fall off? So they might not, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking it's a tough division. It's a tough schedule, period. You got a lot of your core guys are over 30 now. McCaffrey turns 30 this year. I worry about them. If there's a team that you're going to say, what team made the playoffs last year is going to kind of unexpectedly miss the playoffs this year, I think it might be the 49ers, just because a lot of the age questions kind of start to creep in with them.
Hey, so in looking, you said you had the Rams as the best team. You had the Seahawks right behind them. Who are the other challengers? Who are, as far as the AFC goes? And do you have the Eagles in there at all? Do you have are the Cowboys going to be a threat? I know every year they're predicting them to do something, and they never do. But where are you at with some of the other teams beyond the Rams and Seahawks?
Yeah, and I think the Bills are going to be really, really good. Yes, there's always a little bit of worry with a first-time head coach, Joe Brady, there. But I think that team is just ready. I think when you got Josh Allen, you're going to be really good. A couple teams, down the way a little bit, I really like the Texans. That defense is nasty. That defense might be like, wow, this is the 2000 Ravens. They're so good, so deep at all three levels of that defense. It's hard not to really respect them. And they just need C.J. Stroud to be a little better than he's been. And we've seen him be a little better than he's been. It was all the way back as a rookie, but he's at least done it. We know it's possible. The Chargers, Chargers are like the Cowboys, one of those every season preseason hype teams that never comes through. But, man, there's a lot to like there if their offensive line stays healthy. I also don't think the Broncos and Patriots are really going to regress that much. I know it's kind of this fun thing to be like, these teams are going to regress, so they're going to go 8-9. No, that's not how that works. Regressing back to the mean for the Patriots and Broncos means what, 11, 12 wins? They're both good football teams, even if they're never going to repeat 14-3 again. And in the NFC, I'm falling for the bait on the Cowboys. I'm really into them. I know, but the offense is great. The defense is completely remade. And I'll tell you another team, I don't think the Lions are I think the Lions just had a bad year. And because they had a bad year and they're the Lions, we just say, all right, the Lions' window is come and gone. No, I don't believe that. There's too much talent on that roster. I think the Lions are going to bounce back and win that division.
Yeah. Hey, as far as all the international games, do you think that the NFL may be biting off more than they can eat, or do you think are you for some of these games overseas? It seems, what are we going to have, 16? I think. Was it how many games?
They're trying to get there. I think 9 this year, 16 is what they're aiming for in the future. Yeah. So every team gets one. I hate it. I really do. I think it creates imbalances in the schedule. I think that it makes it really, really tough. You can't tell me the Rams and 49ers aren't going to feel it flying from Australia, from Cali to Australia and back. That's tough. These are tough asks you're putting on these guys. And for what? I don't like it. The EPL plays games in America that often. They're like, okay, you can watch on TV, and that's great. You want to fly out to England, you can watch some of these games, but these are valuable games, and we're not shipping them across seas. So I think the NFL, and I think the NFL is doing wrong by its own fans, too. I mean, you're taking a home game away from Seahawks fans. When the Seahawks, who are great fans, that stadium's awesome. I love going to games there because it's so loud. you're saying, no, you don't get a game, but we're going to put a game in Dublin. Well, really? Like, shouldn't you be catering to the fans that made this league so popular? In addition to all the competitive nonsense that I really dislike, I think it's just a kind of a slap in the face to American fans. You're taking the product away from them. This isn't the NBA where you play 42 home games, or Mariners where you play 81. You get 8 or 9, and you're taking these away from the home fans. I don't like. I think it's dumb. I think the NFL, look, it's a runaway train, so who am I to say? But I think the NFL doing stuff like international games, Thanksgiving Eve, which is not even a thing. We're trying to shoehorn games onto Wednesdays now and Tuesdays, and I just think that one of the reasons the NFL is so popular is the scarcity of the product. It's hard I'm from Milwaukee originally. I'm a Brewers fan. It's impossible to be a Brewers fan for 162 games. Like it is. But to be a fan for...
They're a good team this year.
They're really good, man. Go get Tarek Skubal. But for a Seahawks fan, you only have to 17 to Sundays, and maybe a Monday or Thursday here and there. Well, when the NFL's moving games all around the schedule, all of a sudden that scarcity changes. All of a sudden it does become like a part-time job, and you got to find which streaming service you're looking for, and blah, blah, blah. I think that the NFL is, I think they're expanding their schedule way too much. I think that at some point, not necessarily in the next few years, but at some point that will bite the NFL.
Oh, I could not agree with you more on international games. Could not. In the streaming, Dave and I, we're screaming at the clouds about that too.
Yeah, same here. I'm an old man when I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It's not more convenient. It's not. Technology is supposed to make things easier, faster, more efficient. That you can't channel surf. You got to log in. You got to. No, it's not. It's not better. I'm sorry. Hey, quick. I'm just curious to get your take on a specific player that is in the headlines for all the wrong reasons these days, and obviously part of the 49ers. That's Brandon Ayuk. And I'm watching these videos and reading the transcripts of what he's saying and everything, and I'm going, this guy has got no future in the league. Like there's something going on with him in Antonio Brown kind of disconnect here. Am I being too extreme with that? Or do you think is there a GM, a team out there that would actually bring this guy into their locker room at this point?
I think there's going to be at some point some team desperate enough to do it, to just say, hey, your market is absolutely tanked, and now we can bring you in on a one-year prove-it deal. Why not? Like the Miami Dolphins, who have nothing going for them this year. Okay, they can make a gamble like that. So I don't necessarily know that he'll never play in the NFL again because he is really good. But, yeah, there are Antonio Brown vibes. And Antonio Brown was one of the greatest receivers of all time. Brandon Ayuk's not that. So when these teams, the Commanders or whoever, you're saying, we don't know what he's going to be like after the ACL, and now he's been off for a full year in addition to that, and he's acting this way on social media. It's just not worth the trouble. It's why get into this business? I get Antonio Brown. I get people selling their soul for Antonio Brown because he was absolutely unguardable in his prime. Brandon Ayuk's good, but he's not that good. So, yeah it's scary. It's honestly just a little bit like, what is really going on with this guy? You know that there are people, hopefully, in his world saying, put down the phone. Don't be posting on social media anymore. And he's obviously not listening to that. It's all a little troubling and weird. And, I think Brandon Ayuk, at very best, his market right now in the NFL is a one-year prove-it deal from a team that has no problem cutting him in 2 weeks if he keeps acting this way. And that's kind of sad because he was, a few years ago, one of the NFL's brightest young receivers, really, really good. And he's just kind of blown that all up.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to watch. I don't shed a tear for the Niners, but on a personal level, you hate to see something like that happen. So he is senior NFL writer for Yahoo Sports, Frank Schwab, who's been our guest. Frank, as always, great stuff, my friend. We really appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully we get a chance to catch up with you down the road.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Frank.
There you go. Frank Schwab, everybody. If you guys didn't catch all of that conversation, you missed part of it. It will be on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, there's been progress on an important contract negotiation for the Seahawks. Tell you what that's about coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Just 5 days out from the trade deadline.
We honestly don't know yet what direction this is going to go.
This might be that time to once again go for it.
I agree. Now's the time for the Mariners to go out and be aggressive.
Deadline countdown. Just 5 days.
An additional bat would go a long way. Yeah, I can see this going down.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends this Friday. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Paddle your way to a salmon run surprise of $100,000 in cash. Win your share with hourly drawings from 6 p.m. till midnight every Saturday in August. It's a King's Cash cascade of prizes that just keeps on growing, cresting at a $15,000 finale on August 29th. Dive into all the freshwater fun with one free daily entry. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 35 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions. Seattle Sports.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hon, is your new pinball machine in our budget?
KeyBank will meet you in that our money is now our money moment.
Actually, our banker Steve recommended we start a joint checking account for bills and keep our individual accounts for things like pinball machines.
Did someone say Banker Steve? I was in the neighborhood, in case you had any checking account questions.
Steve, you're always there for us. Now, how quickly can we open that account?
Steve, are you seeing this?
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Fast Home Services is a 5-tool player. One call for it all. Water heaters, plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical. Dave Wyman here, and the same Seattle company that's handled your hot water since 1986 is now handling everything that keeps the house running. One number, one team. Home field advantage for your home. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you just tuned in, missed that conversation, talking Seahawks and NFL with him, definitely check that out on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Click on our picture, and it'll be right there waiting for you. And don't forget to click subscribe because, A, it's totally free, and B, you don't ever have to think about it after that. It just shows up for you. Those are the best kinds of technology, Dave, unlike streaming.
Yeah,
unlike streaming games.
Like you said, it's supposed to make it easier, and it doesn't.
Faster, more efficient.
Yeah.
This is it comes up short.
Yes, it does.
It does. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I thought
facts.
The best point he made, and it wasn't so much about the technology, is that you're taking games away from fans. I mean,
we talked about that before.
Yeah.
You're losing some team, whether it's the Seahawks or otherwise, is losing a home game.
Yeah. So I just think they're going a little bit too far there, and
they want world domination.
Yeah, they do. They do. They want it to be like the World Cup. They laid down the challenge, and Americans got a kind of a taste for how big the World Cup is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's what they're chasing.
Meanwhile, we talked about we've spent so much time talking about, the contracts of Devin Witherspoon and, hey, Anthony Bradford's in his final year. He's got to prove it. And we've talked about, I felt like we spent so much time talking about these other deals that just flying under the radar was Leonard Williams. Didn't even realize he was in the final year of his deal. A guy who does not seem to be aging. He does not see his. You watch him on the field. You look at his numbers. You're just going. I don't see an older. By NFL standards, he's an older player.
Yeah.
Right. But he doesn't play that way. He doesn't look like a guy we can only play him. This percentage. We got to really monitor his time on the field, and maybe they do. Maybe they do to an extent. But he's so impactful. He's so good right now. What was he? He just was voted the best defensive tackle in the league.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think he was number one on that list.
Yeah, I mean,
yep.
And he's doing this at 32 years old. He's going to be 33. So, and we talked about it once we were, he's up for a contract. Do you sign him? Do you commit to somebody that age? And you were talking about, I don't see any slowdown in him. And the good news is it sounds like the Seahawks don't see that either because they've been talking about a contract extension, and Leonard Williams confirmed that there have been contract extension talks.
I mean, there's been a few conversations, but nothing set in stone. I think we're all focused on the season starting right now, and we know that's towards the end of the season. We have time to figure that out when the time comes.
So obviously they've had. It doesn't. I don't know if that tells you anything about how far along they are in the conversations, but he doesn't sound agitated or worried about it on any level.
No, and like when we were talking to Frank Schwab, it just seems like the Seahawks, they're really good at that part of it. And you have to get creative financially and, try to give it a little bit here. And, what's the player like? Does he like security? Is he a guy that likes to fight for the money? Do you make it incentives, things like that? And I think they do a really good job, them and the Rams. And look, I'm not looking at every single transaction in the NFL, but it just seems like those are two very successful teams that do a really good job with the salary cap. So, yeah, we do sit and kind of wring our hands over it, but I just think, John's not going to sign like JSN, the $168 million. I mean, that's daunting, but he's not going to sign a guy to an amount of money that's, and I'm not saying he hits on everything, but like they're not going to do anything that will tear the team apart and,
right.
Leave them like, oh man, we're short or we're over the cap or we got to cut this guy or whatever. So, that's That's the thing. I think the Rams and the Seahawks do a really good job. And Frank kind of confirmed that as well with the Rams. They always find a way to,
Well, they've got some sort of sorcery going on there.
You think so?
We keep hearing, it's gonna come back to bite them. It's gonna come back to bite them. Wait till this happens. It's gonna wait till this happens, and this contract comes due, and this is gonna when.
Yeah.
Has it bitten them yet? I'm still waiting to see the wound because it doesn't seem to have caught up to them yet. And maybe it will. I know they traded away all these first-round picks, and it's just, as much as I hate to give them credit, they seem to be wizards with the salary cap. I don't know how they do what they do and how they've done it over the number of years that they've done it. And they're right there in the thick of things. They're right there, they're able to keep bringing in these huge contracts, sign extensions with people. I don't know. I got to give them credit though. They're very good at it, and they find ways to where it's not punitive. And it hasn't, in my eyes, I haven't seen it bite them yet. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm what's interesting is I'm looking at right now at the Nate Landman contract, and they said they didn't want to pay inside linebackers. Yeah. So, but they signed that Nate Landman guy to a fairly big deal. I mean, it's not as much as what EJ got, but yeah, they kind of move around and just do things like you said, sorcery. Probably it's probably
some voodoo, black magic.
Yes, exactly. But they always find a way, and they have really smart people, working for that team. My agent Marvin Demoff, his son Kevin is the president of that team, and they always find a way to do it. So, yeah. I do worry about, what's going to be a casualty. Where is it really going to hurt you? Because you have so many good players that, came together to win a Super Bowl. Like, surely there's going to be two or three guys in there that you can't pay, right? And it just never seems to pan out that way.
Yeah.
And it seems to go that same way with the Rams. So, I think as fans, you sit around and wring your hands about the salary cap, but I don't think John's ever really had a problem since he's been here for that.
I can't remember. I'm sure somebody could point out, well, they cut this guy, or but I can't think of a cap casualty where we're going, man, if they'd only managed the cap better, you could have kept this guy or that guy. They've done a masterful job. I don't know if they've been as good as the Rams, but they're in the conversation. The Rams, that's just a tough one to top. I don't know what you say about that, but by the way, watching a game on TV right now, Giants are hammering the Brewers 14-3, and they got a position player pitching right now, and there's so much arc on the ball from the mound to the plate, it's comical. It looks like a guy tossing the ball to his little kid so he can hit the ball. You know what I mean? Just kind of just lobbing it in there, all kinds of arc on there. It's very funny to watch when they throw the position players out there. But watch when he throws the ball. I don't even think they're putting the MPH up there. Yeah. Oh, that one he tried to put some steam on it, went way outside.
If you're a position player, are you thinking, oh, come on, man, you're going to do this to me? Or I'm sure they've had conversations of like, okay, of all of our position players, who would that be for the Mariners, by the way?
That would pitch?
Josh Rojas back in the day.
Remember? Yeah, remember?
Yeah. He was. Who would do it now? Would it be?
Was Josh a third baseman?
Yeah.
Who would it be this year?
Well, I don't think you want to burn anyone valuable per se. It's probably someone off the bench.
So who? Ref Snyder? Is it going to be? Would it be if Master Boney were still here? Would it be Master Boney? He's not here anymore. They DFA'd him. But it would. You're right. It'd have to be a Leo Rivas type of guy. You're not going to throw J.P. Crawford out there. You're not going to throw Canzone or Rayleigh out there.
Oh, my God. That's a lollipop.
I told you.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
I thought you were exaggerating.
No. It's a rainbow.
I honestly think I could throw a straighter pitch.
Look at it literally has arc to it. It's coming down when and it throws the hitters off. You see them, they're fouling balls off. They have a hard time squaring the ball up. It's hilarious.
Well, and if you're a hitter and you see a position player in there, like there's got to be some pressure there. Right? Like, oh, my God, if I strike out to this guy.
This guy strikes me out with his 47. There, he got some heat on it.
Yeah.
But, it's funny to watch. Anyway, What were we talking about? I'm sorry, I got distracted by that.
Yeah, we were just talking about the
salary
cap.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I do think it's a great topic, but yeah, it just seems like it's never come up. I think it'll be interesting, if that ever does come up with Schneider. So yeah, and it seems like he's always got things planned out.
He steps
far ahead.
Yeah, he's already. I'm guaranteeing they've had conversations about Eamon Worry extensions down the road. All right, if this happens, he stays healthy, this is probably what the number we're looking at for him. And Zabel, same thing. I mean, guys that have 1 year under their belt.
But by the way, I told you that I've been sort of embarking on this, going through and spending like 30 to 45 minutes looking at the games from last year.
Mm-hmm.
This was somewhat discouraging to me that, we're talking about how the young guys really have to step up. Jadarian Price and Bud Clark and Julian Neal. If you watch Nick Eamon-Worry in the first part of the season, he struggled.
Yeah.
Definitely. And he was part of, I don't know if you remember the touchdown in Jacksonville. Shaq Griffin was on the team for a number of games, but there was a confusion where one guy thought you had him and the guy ran free and it was a touchdown for the Jaguars. There was a couple other times where he didn't fill in the spot, Nick Eamon-Worry. He ended the season. He was fantastic. I mean, we were like panicked about how, that guy might miss the Super Bowl because he limping out of the car and everything. And, about that Atlanta game is where he started to really turn it around. So a little bit discouraging because I'm like, okay, we're counting on at 3 positions, and maybe it won't play out that way, but, maybe somebody like Nehemiah Pritchett will step up, but, instead of having, Julian Neal play corner. But, yeah, there were some times where, as good as Eamon-Worry was last year, it was tough sledding for him maybe the first 6 or 7 games.
Hey, I have our answer, by the way. We can tease it to the break.
Answer to what?
The position player. There is a position player on the Mariners who has pitched 2 1/3 innings this year. Think about that, and we'll come back with it.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Just 5 days out from the trade deadline.
We honestly don't know yet what direction this is going to go.
This might be that time to once again go for it.
I agree. Now's the time for the Mariners to go out and be aggressive.
Deadline countdown. Just 5 days.
An additional bat would go a long way.
Yeah, I can see this going down.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
It is motorcycle weather out there. That's this time of year that I love, but I understand it's a risk when you get on a bike, and many more experienced riders have told me it's not if, but when you get into an accident. Hopefully that never happens, knocking on wood, but should it happen, I know I've got the Law Tigers watching my back, and they've been doing that for 25 years. They have helped thousands of riders out there with only one mission: to serve the motorcycle community. With Law Tigers, you never ride alone. So when the unexpected happens, you need more than a lawyer. You need somebody who actually understands the ride. That's why riders have trusted Law Tigers the way they have, because it isn't just what they do, it's who they are. And they've been doing it for 25 years strong, and they're still riding with you. So should you find yourself in an accident, they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced, because they know what that stuff means to you. So should the worst happen, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Cook Law Office, PLLC, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
Dave Wyman joined by another Swedish cyberknife patient to offer a glowing endorsement of their prostate cancer treatment. Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host, underwent Swedish cyberknife treatment for prostate cancer. How did you hear about Swedish cyberknife?
Well, it was this familiar-sounding voice on the radio telling me about it, and so I thought I'd investigate that. Everything I heard was what I wanted to hear, and so I reached out.
What's it like to go through the cyberknife treatment?
You do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital. They say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It's just a matter of listening to music in headphones and trying your best not to move.
Looking back on your Swedish cyberknife experience, what stood out?
It was too easy. It was just too easy. I went through it and I just went, that's it?
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
Cyberknife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission. Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event, going on right now through Sunday, August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
What? It's time for What If Wednesday.
Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt.
Wyman and Bob rewrite the scripts of major moves and moments in sports every Wednesday afternoon. Now step into an alternative reality with Wyman and Bob.
It is What If Wednesday, presented by Mazda of Everett. And before we get into the what if,
the burning question.
The position player that pitched for the Mariners this season.
No. A Mariners position player that has pitched 2 1/3 innings this year.
That's what I just said.
No, but it's an important distinction because you're not going to like the answer here. He pitched not for the Mariners, but he's currently on the Mariners.
You goofball.
No, it's when you were asking who would pitch, this guy's actually pitched this year, so he would be the one they call.
I thought you were saying somebody that pitched for the Mariners this year.
No, he's a current Mariners position player. He has pitched on another team this year.
Who's that, Weston Wilson?
Yes.
See, that was deceptive.
No, that's trivia right there. So he would be the one they'd call on to pitch because he's pitched this year, and I believe he's the only one, the only Mariners position player.
2 1/3, you said?
Yeah.
Lefko made it about semantics.
That was important.
It was very deceptive.
No one's pitched for the Mariners this year.
What
no
are you, an
position
attorney?
player. Yeah.
We're sitting there getting the break on. Was it Pareda? Was it Leo?
Pareda was a good guess. I thought Garver was the.
We had some texters saying it's Garver.
Yeah.
Leo Rivas is it? He's like, no, he's up with the big team right now. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I don't
Josh
know,
Rojas. How many? I wonder.
Well, that's the answer though. It would be Weston Wilson if they needed someone to pitch. I think.
To do cleanup duty like what's happening in this game with the Giants, who are up 16-3 right now on the Brewers, and they had a position player up there lollipopping the ball from the mound. Looked like it was barely going to get there. So it can get ugly at times. You don't want to burn bullpen arms, so you're going to throw a position player out there. And Rojas seemed to like it. I think he was we interviewed him once. And he was talking about trying to get his ERA down below double digits or something like that. He had a sense of humor about it. But hey, what if now this question to me is implying that this guy's been hurt all year, which I don't think is true. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the question Lefko's got here is, what if Rob Refsnyder had been healthy all season? Would he have been any different? Because see, that question to me says he's been hurt all year, and I don't think he has. I think the knee has been bothering him. I'm not debating that, but I don't think he started the year and he was ailing and he's just been trying to overcome it the whole year. I think he just got off to a bad. It's like Cal. Cal has not been hurt since the WBC all the way up until he just recently came off the IL. But that's the way it gets talked about. Like, well, he was hurt. That's why he's been. No, he started out poorly, then got hurt. Then remained hitting poorly.
Well, there's a difference between hurt and injured, right?
Well, you're dealing with something that's impacting your production. Yeah. And I don't believe that was true for Cal, and I don't believe that's true for Rob Refsnyder.
Okay.
I feel like it's a way of sort of whitewashing their struggles and saying, well, they're hurt. What if they weren't? They'd be different. No, I think they were both, in both cases, guys came out of the gate slow for whatever their reasons. Just it wasn't happening for them. They got hurt.
I like having that as an explanation.
I know it makes you feel better, but I don't think it's true.
It makes me feel better not because of, because it's Cal. It's just because it's so hard to figure out because, you just thought he's such a squared away guy. Now we're talking about Cal instead of Refsnyder, but same.
See what Dave does, turns it into Cal.
Same type of thing. At least it's not a football topic. Yeah, I mean, you like to think that, okay, maybe it was his oblique and it was bothering him and he didn't really know it. He didn't, it wasn't like it was lighting up with pain, but it was like slowing him down a little bit. So I like to think that, but I don't know. With Refsnyder, it just seemed more like it was in his head. Definitely.
Yeah.
His brain hurt.
Yeah. To me, both cases are very similar in that it's just guys that got off to bad starts. And then on top of that, here comes injury for both of them. So you had to work through that and then now try to get back after that injury, in which Cal hopefully is doing. He had another bright spot last night, so hopefully that's the start. And Refsnyder, that was his best game as a Mariner. Home run, and he had 2 hits. One of them a home run, and it was crucial. You needed it. It was, you won by 1, so that was a big knock for him.
Yeah.
If he never had that injury, is he a different player? Maybe. I know that's not much of an answer. It's hard. We're predicting, what would have happened. I just think he got off to a slow start. He's in a new city. He's probably pressing, trying to, prove himself to the new fan base, and it just started to snowball the wrong way as the offers were piling up. And he made reference to it, So it just I don't know how dramatically different his season would be had he never dealt with injury. I don't know how much opportunity he would have gotten. Would Dan keep running him out there when he wasn't happening for him? I don't know. In his case, it's much harder to work out of it, I think. Whereas Cal, they're not benching Cal. He's going to he goes 0 for 4 tonight with 4 strikeouts. Guess what? He's playing tomorrow. He's going to get 4 more cracks at it.
Well, I mean, you would think that Refsnyder, using the excuse that, well, he's just, he's new in town, everything. He's gone through that before, right? He's with the Yankees, then he went to Toronto, then to Texas, then Minnesota, then Boston, now here. So, yeah, I wouldn't – yeah. Boy, you look at his numbers and, especially against lefties. I mean, it's phenomenal. And the difference is huge and very obvious. But, for him, I don't think it was injury. And listening to him talk about it too, like, you know, he was like, yeah, I'm in a slump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that was an injury. I like to think for Cal it was the injury, but I don't know. You just like to figure things out, right? Like, we're always trying to connect the dots. Like, okay, he's not having a good year. Why? What is it? You know, and that, I think that was the thing with Cal. And I was like, I just couldn't imagine that it was anything in his head, because, you know, he's just a very simple guy, very simplistic. And you never think that he would get off because of a thought that's running around in his head.
Yeah, I think he, you know, the way he expresses himself doesn't change, but internally he could be like, man, I got to get going. I got to, you know, had the season. Everybody's expecting me to be this guy year in, year out. I got to come through for my team here. I got runners on. I got to come through. I didn't come through. Pressure starts to build, you know. So he's human. He's like everybody else.
No, he's not.
I know you think he wears a cape, Dave, but he doesn't. Okay, he's a human being.
That was fun watching that last night.
Yeah, last night was a lot of fun, and hopefully we get another version of that tonight. Meanwhile, there was a big statement made yesterday on our station. We're going to get into that in Best of the Rest. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, earn money while you listen, earn money while you drive, earn money while you sleep. It's Dave Wyman here, and I know we're all looking for ways to add extra income without adding extra hours to our workday. How about joining a credit union where your money earns money? That's Harborstone Credit Union, founded in 1955 for local, hardworking people. They have a money market special offering strong returns for your hard-earned money. And all it takes is a couple clicks of the mouse at harborstone.com/money market to open one. As soon as it's opened, you start earning a 3.75 annual percentage yield. And the best part, you retain full access to your money the entire time. Harborstone Credit Union is the hard-working credit union built for people like you and me. So get the most out of your money with Harborstone Credit Union. Open a money market account online at harborstone.com/money market. Insured by NCUA.
Need a heavy lift? Levitt Machinery is now your Taylor lift equipment dealer in Washington and Oregon. Engineered for extreme duty durability, Taylors are designed for demanding environments with uptime built into every machine. When the work is tough, Taylor delivers. And now backed by Levitt Machinery in the Pacific Northwest. LevittMachinery.com. Give us a call today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
If the customer wants to be met in Seattle, then let's get that car from Kirkland to Seattle so that customer can come in there and transact.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners take game one of their three-game series against the L.A. Dodgers in L.A. last night. They look to repeat that tonight when they send Emerson Hancock to the hill in what could be his final game as a Seattle Mariner. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline, but he goes for the M's tonight, looking to win the series. You can catch it all starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame show, 7:10 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 7:10. Meanwhile, in the world of the NFL, Bengals defensive end Shamar Stewart was carted off the field today with a leg injury suffered during the first day of training camp. As of this afternoon, the severity had yet to be determined following imaging done at the stadium. He was spotted in a protective leg brace on his left leg and was on crutches.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, Daniel Kramer of MLB.com will join us on the program, talk some Mariner baseball with him, trade deadline stuff. I love the trade deadline, even though this year all of the experts, the people we bring on to talk, seem to think it's not going to be very active because so many teams think they're in it, right? And but just seeing we got an MLB Network on the TV and the crawl on the bottom, is this Tarek Skubal's last game as a Tiger? He pitched today for the Tigers, and they're having that same conversation out there that we're having about Hancock, except that he's a free agent at the end of the year. So they're trying to figure out, all right, are the Tigers dealing him? Is it going to be the Dodgers? I get sent odds every day from somebody about different things in sports, and
because you're a big gambler,
huge gambler, Dave. I got a problem we should talk about later. But he's favored to go to the Dodgers and of course the Yankees. Those are if you're a gambler and you're betting on where Tarek Skubal gets traded to, should he be traded, the favorite is the Dodgers, followed by the Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
I love the speculation. None of it may happen. We'll see if he gets moved, if the Mariners move Hancock or Castillo. I just love the speculation and what would the return be? And just hearing these guys talk about different teams and what they would or should give up for said player. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Well, look at the AL Central, man. Just since you mentioned Skubal, Detroit's 51-58. The White Sox
Yeah.
55 and 51. They lead the division. But yeah, I mean, it's so like jammed up with right now it's right around 53, 54, 55 wins in the American League.
Well, and just how many teams are in it for the wild card. I mean, you just brought up Detroit. Yeah, you look at the record and you go, they're 7 games under 500. They're just 4 games out of a wild card.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, but they also have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in front of them to get to that spot.
Man, I would be fascinated to be sitting, like a fly on the wall of, a discussion with Justin and Jerry.
Oh, I'd love it.
Man,
I love it.
Where do you think we are?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Blue Jays. Blue Jays were in the World Series last year, moments away from winning the World Series last year. Now they're 50 and 59.
Yeah,
but they're only 5 games out of a wild card. So, but there's so much traffic in front of them. So that's, I'm wondering what those conversations are like in each of these cities where they're like, yeah, 5 games, and we've certainly got enough time to make up that difference with the games left. But we've got, if you're the Blue Jays, we got the Tigers, the Orioles, the Mariners, the Astros, the Twins, the Guardians, all ahead of us. So you not only do you have to play better, these teams have to come back to you. It's the math is interesting, and it's going to dictate a lot of what we do and don't see at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And how many of these fan bases are looking at this going, look, yeah, I get that we're 5 games out, but there's too much in front of you. You got to sell. Yeah. You got to sell, and maybe the team thinks, no, we're buyers. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting trade deadline, but I'm wondering if it lives down to the expectations that so many have, where they're like, I don't know if these big names are going to move the way people think. Because everybody thinks they're into it. So we'll find out. Meanwhile, it's time to get into some of the conversations happening on the other shows around the station. We call it Best of the Rest.
We know you love listening to us, but there are great discussions happening all over our station.
No, you idiot. It's the Bills.
You can die when you're dead.
Yep, just not good at bats.
Turn it down.
It's time for the Best of the Rest.
How dare you?
Do you think Bump hates that we have that clip that we highlight his malaprop every day? You can die when you're dead.
I like how he says it with such conviction.
Yeah.
Like he's very sure that is the...
that's the correct way.
Yeah, and you know what?
You think he's been made aware it's not right? Huh? Do you think he's been made aware that it's not right, or is he still running around saying it that way?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, and I'm going to reinforce it with him.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I really like what you said. I mean, that really hits home. You can die when you're dead. It's good stuff.
Once you're dead, go ahead. You can die. Yeah, you're allowed to. All right, let's start with Brock and Salk, and they were talking about what's going on with the Mariners and the managing situation. Brock was wondering if the Mariners need a bad cop to counter Dan Wilson's good cop persona.
And it just got me thinking that when you are a good cop and a really good cop, Pete Carroll was a good cop. And when you have that, there really is an importance to have the other side. Who is the other side that can come in? When I was in Indy for those years, and it was funny that Ray brought up Tom Moore on Thursday, but Tom Moore was that guy. He would cut you down, tear you apart, demean you in ways that Tony never had one chromosome in his body capable of doing that. It's just hyper important. You and me, there's some good cop, bad cop to you and I, just by our wiring.
How do you feel about being the bad cop?
And I do wonder, honestly, as we move along here, Seitzer, Edgar, they're not bad cops. They're just not. Manny Acta, from what we know, and I don't know him well enough, and I don't know all the dynamics on an everyday basis, but it certainly got me thinking with this firing that they made and Dan fighting for him. I don't know if there is that healthy counterbalance that most of the really good cops I've been around have had to have, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Kalen DeBoer, I'll give you one more in real time.
It's a really, really good point.
I'll give you one more in real time. Kalen DeBoer, won at Fresno State, won at Washington, took them to the national title game. You know what he had in his OC, who was with the Seahawks for a year? That dude was bad cop.
Oh, he's talking about Grubb.
I guess, yeah. I think it's easier to have a bad cop in football. You got so many coaches. You got so many assistants and assistants to assist. There's just, it's so spread out. Whereas, who is it? It's not Manny Acta.
No.
And the other guys are so specific to I work with the hitters. I work with the pitchers. So is Woody going to come out and light up the team because they can't hit? No, he's a pitching coach.
Right. So,
Perry Hill, who's he going to – he might light up a guy for booting a ball, but who's going to get on the offense? That's – to me, there's got to be a good cop, bad cop within Edgar and Seitzer, I would assume. And when Magianis was there, and maybe there was. I don't know what that dynamic was like. But I think it's a lot harder on a baseball team to have – somebody who's kind of equal. I mean, yeah, there's the head coach in football, and he's oversees everything, but there's the manager, but everybody else feels like they're so much further down than in football, where you've got associate head coaches, assistant head coaches. You had Pete, but Tom Cable could be a bad cop in that setting. He was the assistant head coach, or
was.
I think in that setting it's easier. In baseball, I don't know who could be the bad cop that would have the ear of the whole clubhouse the way a manager does.
Yeah, Tom Cable was a fairly intimidating character. Right?
Yeah.
I was bad cop one year when I was coaching at Redmond, my first year there. And I actually, at the end of the year, they gave me the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde award.
Who was the good cop?
Well, it was a guy named John Eagle. And he was a super nice guy and everything. And we were playing a team that we should have should be beating at halftime. They were ahead by like 2 touchdowns or something. And we're walking in, and Eagle says to me, what do you think? I said, I'm going to light him up. And it worked. I mean, we went out in the second half, but I went off.
Yeah.
It just was like it was like I left my body, basically.
Did you
looking down on? Yeah, and sometimes that helps in high school football.
Yeah.
Right? And first of all, different sport. So, like our guy Colt Emerson said, you can't white knuckle it. You can't, start banging your head against the wall. I mean, so I don't know that is something that they need. Also, they're professionals. So do you really need to be coached and lit up that way? Like, I don't see that. Well, so I don't know that's a good idea, because first of all, I don't think it works at that level. Maybe in football.
Yeah, because you can play angry.
Yes.
You can play, I'm going to hit harder, I'm going to run faster.
Right.
It's going to work to your advantage often, whereas, as you just talked about with the comment from Colt, which is true, and we've talked about it for years, you can't swing harder.
Yeah.
I'm going to swing so hard, I'm going to grip that bat tighter. All of it works against you.
Right.
So, yeah, the idea that you're going to light a fire under this guy and he's going to go up there pumped up and ready, I don't want that.
Right.
I don't want that feeling in a guy up there. I want him excited, I want him focused, but I don't need him tense and just grinding that bat into sawdust up there in the box.
Yeah, because I've been pissed off on the golf course, and I can tell you it doesn't help.
It doesn't help when I'm in a good mood on the golf course either.
At all.
By the way, I did like that Brock had no reaction to being told he was the bad cop.
Yeah,
he just kept
going,
rolling through it, because that's such an obviously false statement. But Bump and Stacy, we're talking about whether the Mariners can afford to part with somebody like Emerson Hancock.
You also, though, put yourself at a bit of a risk. If this offense bump was, I don't know, God, even a fraction as good as it was last year, you could go, well, look, you can deal with some subpar pitching because you have the offense to make up for it. Unfortunately, you don't. I think you have no choice but to add offense, but Bump, I'm a little nervous about taking pitching away from a team with the top 5 ERA and the 3rd fewest runs scored per game.
Yeah, but they put themselves in this position. What else are you going to do that will give you something in return to help out exactly what you need, which is scoring runs, getting bodies on base? It's a roll of the dice, but I think that's something that they have to do. Even though they are, second in the division right now, they're not playing some good baseball. I still leave room for – Josh has actually been playing pretty good the last couple of weeks, for everyone to kind of catch up and get their groove going. Hopefully Donovan comes back and provides that. But how else do you get better? I think this is the only way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't feel great about not having Emerson Hancock in the lineup. I also think that there's no way this iteration gets to and wins a World Series.
No.
There's just not. I know that to a lot of people, Luis Castillo feels like the better option. You're just not getting in return what you need for an offense that needs so much help.
Yeah, I said earlier I don't want to part with Emerson Hancock, and there was a few texters that agreed, but, who is like the one guy we talked about that Schmidt guy?
Yeah, from the Giants.
From the Giants. And
he's on the IL with a torn meniscus now.
Getting hurt. Yeah. So
and Steer from the Reds was the other one, which I was not that excited about, and he's hurt too.
Yeah.
So two of the more, I guess, prominent names. They're not superstars, but in I think I like Schmidt decidedly better than I like Steer.
Yeah.
But you're not trading for Juan Soto. You're not going out for Shohei or
Right.
these are guys that are going to fill a role for you.
Yeah, and you're giving up a guy that's kind of like on his way of being a superstar. So, yeah, so Emerson Hancock, I don't know. I just say no, and the end. That's it. But, we'll see what, it was very obvious last year, right? I mean, and we actually got who everybody pretty much wanted and we're talking about, and that was Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah.
And it was like.
But how are you going to fix what's wrong with you? Have to give something up. I know you don't. I don't want to give up Hancock. I like the guy. I think he's been tremendous. It's been an eye-opening season. But you have to give something to get something. And as much as we want it to be Castillo because of his age and salary, that's also the reason he's not going to bring back what you need in return.
Right.
Or unless you eat so much of the salary that it's somehow impacts the Mariners. We're like, well, we can't take on much salary because we're eating all of this from Castillo, so we're not going to get what we want in return. I don't know. It just you have to part with somebody. And it feels like if you want return, you want somebody that's going to impact your roster now, it's got to be Hancock, or it'd have to be one of the other four, which I don't think they want to part with.
I think ultimately in my head, I'm thinking they have the people. They have the guys to be good offensive players. They're just not playing that well. And also injuries. Brendan Donovan, getting him back, I think would be probably equal to anything that you could get on the market of him coming back and being healthy. And, and then Brash also fits in there in that way. And then, it's more about like somebody has to go in there and play bad cop. No, I'm kidding. No, it's more like these guys got to get going, just like last night. I mean, that was the first time since April 11th that both Julio and Cal homered in the same game.
Yeah.
And the last time that happened, they beat the Astros 8-7. And what they win was it
7-6.
7-6 last night. So, yeah, I mean that's what needs to get done. And so, yeah, giving up somebody like Emerson Hancock for a name that isn't very clear like it was last year is the wrong move in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and now look, I don't know if they were in pursuit of Schmidt or Steer. Those were just names that were coming up from analysts and people saying, yeah, that makes sense for the Mariners. Maybe they weren't even on their list. They could be looking at some other players. I don't know. But if they were on their list, I'm wondering where they pivoted to. Like, okay, these guys obviously aren't going to help us this year, or certainly not in the time frame we need them. So we got to I'm guessing their list is longer than those two. Who's on it? We're going to find out. Or maybe we'll find out afterwards. We wanted a deal for this guy, or that'll be the rumor. They were going after this guy, but the ask was way too much, or we'll find out. That's why I love this stuff. Meanwhile, Brock and Salk were weighing in on Jeff Passan's comments, saying the M's should fire Dan Wilson, but they won't.
Maybe to go beyond that, he thinks they should do that because what they aren't going to do is move on from their manager, which is what he thinks they should actually do. That is a lot in there.
There is a ton to unpack. I think Jeff, when you say, as he did to us, as many did, as I kind of framed that question to him, this is a elite team. This is a World Series team. This is a World Series organization. They should be poised to go on some of the best run in franchise history, and then the team is playing and falling flat. They're 10 games under 500 out on the road, right? They're in the worst division in baseball, yet they're in third place in that division with that said roster. I will say, is I'm just in real time reacting to a lot of those like jabs. I will say, when you asked about value add with other managers, the value add for Dan Wilson and why that move was made when it was made about 2 years ago was because we need to empower these players. Right? Like the voice needs to come from within. That old adage I love to say to you about good teams and bad teams and elite teams. And he did. And he was like one of the greats to do it. And he's in the Mariners, top 50 players, and he's all those things. And he did, and empowered those players then, and did through last year. And guys went on historic runs, and Cal's success, and all the conversations we had about, he gave the power back to the players. And And I think now, unfortunately, that's coming back to bite them in the tail.
Well, he mentions the fact that they're 3 games, or I'm sorry, they're third in the division, but I mean that could change by next week.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at some of these teams. We just saw the Rangers, and I know that we dropped 3 to them, but you look at what like the Astros, for example, their lineup or their rotation right now is bad.
Mm-hmm. It's been bad all year.
Hunter Brown is a 3.45, and then Peter Lambert is a 3.06 ERA. But then other than that, it's 5.83, 7.17, 8.1 ERA. I mean, Ronel Blanco, he's only pitched in 10 innings, but they don't really have, there's no dominant team in except for the Mariners when everybody's playing together.
Yeah, well, look at the Astros have given up more runs than any team in the division outside of the A's, who we talked about at the very beginning of the year. You love their offense, love their young talent. I've got questions about their pitching, and that's come to fruition. They've given up 600 runs. Second in the division is the Astros, 542 runs. So their staff in totality has been bad since the beginning of the year. But they've scored more runs than any team in the division. So that's how they've been able to balance it out and survive that. And they're now a half game ahead of the Mariners.
Yeah.
So it's there. The Mariners still are the only team with a plus run differential in the division. Every single team, including the Rangers, they're minus 18. Astros are minus 44. A's are minus 126.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Mariners have the pieces to be better than what they are. Do they have the pieces to truly compete? I think they've got the pieces. If we were saying, look, just win the West, if everybody's healthy, they've got the pieces. I don't think they would have to add in order to win the West. But if we're talking about you want to take a step further than you did last year, which is getting to the World Series, they need those pieces to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond what they currently have on the roster. I don't think what they have now beats the Yankees or the Rays.
Yeah.
But does it win the West? Yeah, the West is a bad division. It's worse than baseball. I think if that was the only goal, you could say, we're not making a move. Everybody's healthy. We're going to be fine. But that's not the case, obviously. Last one comes from Bump and Stacy. They were talking about the addition of Dante Fowler Jr. To the Seahawks and talking about ultimately what it means for this team.
But take us back. This team, I don't want to say moved on from Boye Mafe, but allowed Boye Mafe to walk in free agency. He signs a massive deal with the Bengals, gets the bag, get your money, Boye. But that also leaves a guy off your roster who was tied for the lead in sacks last year. Now, granted, no player had more than 7. It's part of what made this team special is kind of everyone was eating. But you're taking one of those guys away. So what does Dante Fowler bring you?
One, he's a veteran. Right, there's nothing like having the snaps that he has had in this league. With 10 years in the game, there's not too many things that he hasn't seen, right? He knows the proper angles. He knows the proper technique. He understands tendencies. So there's less teaching when it comes to how to play the game when it comes to Dante Fowler. You got to teach him the defense and what you expect and responsibilities and all that. But you get a guy who's been around the block, man, and who can still play, too. It's not like I'm watching the film.
10.5 sacks year before last.
Yeah. I didn't watch the film and think, oh, he's washed. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I kind of had the same feeling when I watched D-Law's film. D-Law's film was a bit more impressive, but you saw a guy that was still moving like he can play in this league.
Are they different players, kind of?
Yeah. D-Law's more the violent type of player. I think Fowler can be violent, but that's not his baseline. It's more technique and responsibility being where you're supposed to be.
Gotta love Jet just blaring in the background.
Who?
Jet. Are You Gonna Be My Girl? That song.
Don't know that one.
By the way, I think she might have misspoken there. Did she say Boye was tied for the lead?
Yeah.
He only had 2 sacks last year, so I'm not sure what she was referencing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was talking about because there was four guys? Three. And
yeah,
Uchenna Nwosu for that one texter that said, how come you guys don't talk about Uchenna?
Yeah, it was him. Yeah. Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy all had 7.
Right.
D-Law had 6. And then, Boye had 2 last year, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe she was thinking of something.
Well,
else.
and I would say that he was more of like a pass rush specialist, even though he didn't have the numbers. He wasn't great in the run game and didn't really want to stick his nose in there like D. Hall does.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, you look at Fowler, he can be violent, and I just think it's going to be about consistency of play for him. And I think he gets the drill. Like, you can't come in here because, we talked about this with Mike McDonald. he'll be very blunt with people. He'll tell you that is not getting it done here. And I know a lot of people think he's, this mild-mannered guy, which he is. He's great. It's not like he's a jerk or anything, but like he's going to call you out.
Oh yeah.
And so I really trust in the conversation that him and DeMarcus Lawrence had for 30 minutes. That like, okay, this is what it's like here. You get a chance to win another title, but you have to play hard on every single down. And so that's why, like, if you look at Dante Fowler's tape, what you can get. If you watch a game, it's a different story. But if you watch, when he is on, and that's the high end, and that's where I always say there's value in watching the highlight film, because you find out what's his upside.
Yeah.
But if you go through and look, there's times where he is kind of taking place off.
Hey, the Seahawks preseason home opener is August 15th against the Dallas Cowboys. We want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app to find out how. Now, if you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. You can enter daily to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, August 3rd. Meanwhile, how do the Seahawks feel about the lack of respect they're getting as Super Bowl champs? We'll talk about that coming up with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Second-year guard, Gray Zabel. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning to you as well.
What will you notice from your position about the new offense?
Brian's came in and done an absolutely unbelievable job. He wants to build on what we already have, but put a new kind of little wrinkle to what he knows about football. And I think we're going to run the ball first, which I'm super excited about.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends this Friday. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
We're all looking for ways to add extra income without adding extra hours. How about joining a credit union where your money earns money? Dave Wyman for Harborstone Credit Union. They have a money market special offering strong returns for your hard-earned money. Open yours at harborstone.com/money market and start earning 3.75 annual percentage yield. The best part is you retain full access to your money the entire time. That's harborstone.com, insured by NCUA.
Do you need a new roof? Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and secure $500 off your project this summer. Our technicians build a custom plan to ensure a high-quality roof installation every time. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A luxury ranch estate that overlooks its own lake? The Stillwater Ranch blends refined living, recreation, and income-producing land just minutes from Spokane. Explore this ranch and more at fayranches.com.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 5 p.m., Daniel Kramer of MLB.com will join us on the program, talk some baseball and trade deadline with him, get his take on what the Mariners may be doing and all of that good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You want to weigh in on the Mariners, Seahawks, whatever's on your mind. We've talked so much about this team going into the season. In fact, we talked about it with Frank Schwab earlier today of Yahoo Sports. And if you guys missed that conversation, some really good stuff from him. So check that out on the podcast page after the show at Seattle Sports. And I thought it was interesting. Now, he didn't get into the details of it, but when I was asking him about, it just seems nationally there's not a ton of respect going towards the Seahawks, or even in looking back at last year's title. It's kind of talked about almost in terms of like there's a lot of luck. They're very fortunate. I'm like, they lost 3 games all year. How much good luck can there be? I get one game and the ball bounces your way here or there, but an entire season of luck. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like saying the Mariners. Oh, they got lucky last year. Really? Through 162 games of luck, and then through the postseason, there's luck along the way. But come on, man, to attribute an entire season's success to some form of luck is absurd and lazy.
Yeah, it is. And you look at some of the maybe disrespect comes from also like who they beat. I mean, they went to Jacksonville. Jacksonville had a good season.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a chance. I thought they were going to be the Super Bowl opponent for the Seahawks. So, and they won that. We ended up winning that game 20-12 down there, but that was a big win. And then, going toe to toe with, both the 49ers and the Rams. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of good wins. I wonder why. I think that Sam Darnold didn't have like those kind of like Matthew Stafford type of, numbers, and he never really had a game like that. It was more just about their defense just wearing you out. And also special teams. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
Special teams really, I've never seen a team that had better special team plays than they had. They got so much out of their special teams. So, yeah, I think it's in ways special teams, defense, that's probably, not in that order. I'd say defense first, but that's kind of how they won their games, and maybe that's why, you just didn't really have the sort of firepower.
But it was interesting to hear Schwab say that he was talking about the analytics and how they're one of the great Super Bowl teams.
Yeah.
He didn't get into the specific, exactly what numbers he was looking at, but he was basically saying by way of comparison, when you looked at the analytics of that team, that they're one of the great Super Bowl teams in history, which I'm not saying that. I didn't come away from the Super Bowl going, this is one of the all-time greats. I felt that way about the first Super Bowl team, more specifically the defense, that's a generational defense. But according to his numbers, whatever they put into the machine and spits out, it told him the Seahawks are one of the elite teams to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is interesting, and I'm glad you picked up on that, because I was getting ready. I should have asked him, what are those analytics? Because, they went in, and again, we talked about this the other day. I did a video on it that you can find at seattlesports.com, but basically talking about the turnover ratio. Mm-hmm. They were -3. They're one of 10 teams in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with a negative turnover ratio. So, yeah, that's not a great analytic, that's for sure.
No, it's not a great stat in their favor. But.
No. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting that he came up with that. But, I just think that if you don't have this big, powerful, explosive offense, kind of like the Rams had, that maybe that was part of it, why people, I don't know about the disrespect, but just don't see them as being one of the great Super Bowl champions. So I don't know. I didn't even see, what are the odds? I think they're 10-1 or something like that, or 8-1 to
I'm not sure what
win
they
the
are.
Super Bowl. So yeah, it's not like that team really, it was really all about the team playing together, and a lot of the connections that these guys had with each other, like Sam Darnold and Ernest Jones, and those are the kind of things that I think people don't get and don't really feel,
Yeah, and look, in the end, it's all talking points. How do they view this team? This guy said they're lucky. This guy said they're not as good as they're whatever. Who cares? The bottom line is they won the title. They're the champs. They've got the trophy. The end. Now, I would hope that some of the players have that chip. I hope some of them do hear it. I hope it does, sit with them a little bit. Like, really? All right, we'll show you. We'll show you who's lucky or who's overrated or whatever's being said about them. So, as far as that whole disrespect thing goes, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need the sports world to be on bended knee, in front of this team saying you're the greatest thing ever. But it's just kind of got the tone is sort of like it was flukish almost. And it's a weird way to talk about a Super Bowl winning team that lost 3 games all year. But okay. Yeah. The other part of what's interesting about this year, there's 2 receivers I'm curious about. Torrey Horton, who we've seen out there. I still haven't seen him doing a lot of. I just haven't been watching at the time that he was out there running routes and doing his thing. So I don't have anything to go on. But he's not on the IL. He's out there. He's participating. I'm very curious to see, A, can he stay healthy, and B, if he's healthy all year, what kind of impact does he have? Because he really had an impact in a very short amount of time last year, and then he was lost for the year. The other is Rashid Shaheed, who we talked about yesterday. We sat there, watched him sign autographs forever, take pictures forever until basically every last person was out of there. Great individual. They spent a lot of money to retain him. Really curious to see what kind of role he's got and how different it is. It's got to be different than last year. You're paying him that kind of money. Yeah. That money says we expect big things from you.
Yeah, they basically gave K9's money to Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
Except a little bit more, because he got 14 in Kansas City, and Shaheed's getting 17. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Horton, man, if you go back and look at the beginning of the year, the guy scored 5 touchdowns, first of all.
Yeah.
And then 1 on a punt return. So, in that Washington game, I want to say he scored the first 2 touchdowns in that blowout of the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. And then he scored in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, early on, he got after it. That'll be – yeah, he'll be kind of a wild card because you don't have a lot of expectations for him just because he wasn't there at the end of the year.
Yeah. He'd missed so much time, and same with Shaheed. He wasn't there at the beginning of the year. He came over in the middle of the season. But, what does he look like with a full training camp under his belt with this team, with this quarterback, with this offense? New for everybody, obviously, on some level with Fleury. But so they're all on the same page. They're essentially, right? Yeah. They're all dealing with a new coordinator. So he's not behind anybody else. They're all dealing with it together. But, yeah, full year of him. 2 guys, and Horton and Rashid, big return guys. I mean, both obviously touchdowns for, on returns. So they're more than just receivers in both cases. But in the case of Horton, he's just got to be available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's kind of a guy. I remember going into the season, I'm like, okay, we kind of saw some flashes in college, but didn't really know what he was going to be all about. And yeah, he was fantastic, early on. But yeah, he's going to be him and Rashid Shaheed are going to be a couple of, big question marks on that offense.
Meanwhile, we're going to see what is going on with the Rams here because, as Lefko writes, it feels like a joke at this point. But the Rams' love has gotten even more out of control. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, it's Seattle Sports on 710.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man? Putting in the work every day,
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
It's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. In my 6 years of working with Swedish Cyberknife, I've had the pleasure of speaking with several patients who offer glowing endorsements of their prostate cancer treatment. Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host, underwent the entire Swedish Cyberknife treatment for prostate cancer in just 1 week, Monday through Friday, with each session lasting less than an hour. And he chose Swedish Cyberknife because it was only 5 days of treatment versus several months with other treatments. And on top of that, Swedish Cyberknife had by far the least interruption to his daily life, no surgery, no catheter, and the recovery was incredibly quick. And Tim heard about the Cyberknife treatment from our radio commercials, just like you're hearing right now. So if you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, schedule a consultation with Swedish Cyberknife at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Cyberknife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Lee Johnson Auto Family. The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier. The LJ way.
Need a lift?
At Levitt Machinery, we take a different approach to help you lift more and worry less. We take the time to learn how you work. Then we match your business with equipment that solves your unique challenges. From forklifts and telehandlers to track loaders and excavators, we make sure you get the right equipment at the right cost. Because when your equipment does its job, you can focus on yours. Talk to Levitt Machinery today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the Seattle Sports app or go to seattlesports.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
That's seattlesports.com/win.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves. Or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, the NFL analysts on ESPN this morning were kind of talking about the top teams in the league, and Dan Orlovsky on Get Up said no one comes close to the Rams if they're healthy this year.
Every team, there's always the health question for everybody. There's only so many teams that, if healthy, can win it. I think there's like 8 or 10 this year. No one sniffs the Rams. Not when it comes to the coaching and the talent, nobody.
Don't even sniff the Rams, huh?
He just made the you-know-what list, Dan Orlovsky.
I get that he's got to have a definitive take.
Yeah.
I understand that. He can't be wishy-washy like, they'll be pretty good. Let's see what happens. No, he's got to have a take. But to say nobody sniffs that team when you added McDuffie, you added Myles Garrett is a monster. But let's not act like they had some absolute nobody there before. You had Jared Verse, who was very good. Myles Garrett's better. He's more productive. Now, we'll see what happens. They're going different directions because Verse is a lot younger. But to say the addition of those two, you didn't draft anybody in the first round that helps you right now. You're not going to get a speck of help from your first-round pick unless Stafford goes down, and then how good are they going to be with a rookie quarterback? But to make that statement and see the team that's in their division that is bringing back all of their key players and added some nice talent as well, to say they don't even sniff them. See, I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Frank Schwab, our guy that we talked to from Yahoo Sports, I think he said that Jadarian Price was a bit of a reach.
Yeah.
I thought that's the first time I've heard that. Maybe it's true.
And he also did say the Rams on paper are the favorites going in, but he didn't make it sound like, well, don't even bother talking about anybody else. If the Rams are healthy, you might as well just hand them the trophy now.
Yeah. I would say to Orlovsky, we're sniffing the Rams. There's no question. We're definitely sniffing them. I mean, come on. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that was the first thing that came out, like ESPN or whatever. It's like, make this definitive statement, and, so people like us talk about it. But, yeah, mission accomplished, Dan, because isn't he the one that told us we had a really slow run game?
Yeah.
What did that mean?
I took it as he meant it was slow to develop.
Slow developing.
Yeah, once the ball was snapped, like, I guess everything to him looked slow.
Yeah.
As opposed to other teams would just snap, quick handoff, hit the hole, go. I don't know.
Well, I know this, that like on their inside zone runs, like both sides are live. So every once in a while, they would, you'd see Sharps like start to one side and then cut it all the way back. And so that's slow developing, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I just think I don't remember a team being more hyped up than the Rams, especially one that didn't win, the Super Bowl. So, yeah,
team
I mean,
they took 2 or 3 from.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweeping the dial.
New Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak had a big early camp decision to make, and he did make that with the announcement that Kirk Cousins will be the starting quarterback over their number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza.
We as coaches, we're going to see who the best guard is, okay, best quarterback across the board. There's battles everywhere on the roster, so it's important for me to be fair to the players is to put the best player out there. When we go out to practice tomorrow, Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback. He's the guy, and he's going to get a ton of reps, and he deserves them because he's played really good football. But I want Fernando and I want Aiden to push him.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? I don't. Could anybody be upset that Mendoza's not your starter? He's a rookie. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a more accomplished quarterback. I don't know how they've looked. Obviously, he's looked good enough to where Kubiak feels good about, at least at this point, saying, yeah, that's our guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would think you have the luxury of a seasoned veteran there at quarterback. You're not expected to contend this year. The rookie can learn behind the veteran, and maybe he gets in there halfway through the season or something, but that's the smart move. We've talked about the luxury of allowing a quarterback to develop and not getting thrown into the deep end right out of the gates. So that feels like an obvious move to me.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the NFL is kind of trending a little bit that way. You saw that with Drake May. Like, was he the number 1 pick? He was top. I think he was top 5.
He was top 3.
Yeah. So I mean, they kind of.
Now you got me questioning.
They kind of slow played him a little bit. I mean, I think there was a few games that he didn't start right off the get go his rookie year. So, but yeah, Kirk Cousins has gotten it done. I mean, how many
number
times,
3 pick overall?
Yeah, how many times has he been, the leader in completion percentage?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a very accomplished quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, I think. There's nothing wrong with what he said there, and I'm sure he's had behind-the-scenes talks, with Fernando Mendoza and saying, look, you go out there, ball out, and we'll see what happens. But right now, I mean, I'm sure he can understand that Kirk Cousins should be the starting quarterback.
Sweeping the dial.
Leonard Williams yesterday was talking about the World Cup, the number of Seahawks were at, and the fact that, they noticed that real grass that was down there at Lumen.
Yeah, for sure. I think the whole NFL felt that way. We obviously prefer to be on grass. It's just less impact, better on the body and things like that. I understand there's a lot of things that go into having grass in the stadium that I don't fully understand yet. But if it was up to a player and it just came down to having grass or a turf, we would obviously prefer grass.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about this to El Hombre yesterday, and I think it is going that way, especially, and I thought that same thing, that the fact that they put grass in for the World Cup down at Lumen Field, like, okay, it can get done.
It's just, can you maintain it for an entire season?
But they've talked about these grow lamps now that, just the technology, and we watched them yesterday doing the lawn out there, and they spray every single day. And
Dave was watching with such envy in his eyes. He was out there peppering the landscapers with questions.
I was.
What are you doing here? And what do you use for that? He's looking for tips at home.
Him and Trevor did a practice breakdown. It was just about the grass,
about
and lawn care maintenance,
about lawn care and proper equipment.
Did we talk about that?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Good, because I usually talk about it.
That would have been funny.
We were trying to figure out, like, why were they laying down that one line of, like, it looked like soap suds?
Yeah.
And that's just to keep track of where you've been. It had nothing to do. Like, I was like, wow, that's really weird. Is that some kind of powerful, like...
I fully expected to see you go up and start... what'd you call it? Deadheading?
Deadheading I couldn't reach him. No, but
did you try?
No. But honestly, I do think it's going to go that way. I thought that when I was like, wait a minute, they put grass down for the World Cup down there. I mean, it's expensive, but the players, even though the numbers don't really bear out that you get more injuries away from grass on the field turf stuff.
I was thinking about that, and I certainly believe that to be true, but is it more about just how they wake up feeling the next day and days after? Maybe you're not injured per se, but you're like, man, my knees are killing me, my ankle's killing me, my shoulder. Yeah. Maybe just the impact and how you recover. Otherwise, the soreness, maybe you're not technically injured, but maybe just what you're going through the week with is different than when you're on turf.
Yeah, I just think that field turf stuff is so it's scientific. You can make it the same, as soft as the grass by adding less rubber or using different product or whatever. And maybe they'll figure that part out. But yeah, I want to. The number that I heard was like 53-47 as far as number of injuries on the turf versus the grass. So, and then there's lots of different places have different fillers.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? There was one place that said something about cashews or some kind of like organic material that they put in.
Well, I know
into the grass.
Lumen, it used to be rubber, right? And they moved away from that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that's...
Yeah, there's some other kind of filler or whatever, and then they can regulate that much more than you can. I mean, you're talking about Mother Nature versus science, basically, and but you can't get the players away from grass. I mean, they want that. So I feel like that's probably they'll have the technology, because one of the problems is, like, I think it's the south end zone doesn't get any sun during the certain times of year. So because the sun's low in the sky, and I just, maybe they'll figure out a way to combat that. But it seems like I've heard more and more discussion, especially ever since the World Cup came
Maybe the
down.
new owners will foot the bill to put in a grass field and maintain it. Meanwhile, what clicked for the Mariners offense last night, and what are his expectations for the trade deadline? We'll ask Daniel Kramer those questions and much more. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Just 5 days out from the trade deadline.
We honestly don't know yet what direction this is going to go.
This might be that time to once again go for it. I agree. Now's the time for the Mariners to go out and be aggressive.
Deadline countdown. Just 5 days.
An additional bat would go a long way.
Yeah, I can see this going down.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Well, how many of you out there have a pair of readers with you right now? You have them at your desk, you have them in your car, you got to have them with you at all times, especially if you go into restaurants or stores, you want to read menus or labels or even text on your phone. I got tired of that. I was just done with it. Had them in every room of my home, had to have some in my car, and if I forgot them, I was in trouble. I couldn't read. That's when I went to K2 Vision RLE for refractive lens exchange, and those have all been put away now. It is a completely different and better world. When you add King LASIK and K2 Vision together, you get freedom vision for every stage of life. LASIK and EVO ICL from King LASIK gives you freedom from glasses and contacts, where refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE adds extra freedom from readers and cataracts. So again, if you're just done with the readers and you've got problems with your vision, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and permanent solution, and you'll never develop a cataract. With over 400,000 procedures, Doctors Kopstein and King are two of the most experienced vision correction surgeons in America. So whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today. Just go to k2visionrle.com. King LASIK and K2 Vision RLE, no glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. That's k2visionrle.com.
Bigger summer crowds deserve bigger savings. Get more out of summer at Chef Store with warehouse savings on grilling must-haves for restaurants, food trucks, and events. Plus, we're open to the public. No membership required. Visit Chef Store today.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Worried about tariffs, imports, hidden fees on your trees? Relax. At Big Trees, the only thing growing faster than our trees is your relief, because trees don't come with tariffs. What you will find is a massive nursery open to the public with hundreds of locally grown trees ready for planting. Come visit our nursery today or online at bigtreesupply.com. That's bigtreesupply.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends this Friday. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to win the series against the LA Dodgers tonight when they send Emerson Hancock to the hill in what could be his final appearance as a Seattle Mariner. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline, but he takes the hill for the M's. He goes up against Eric Lauer. You can catch it all starting at 6 p.m. with the pregame show 7:10 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 7:10. Game's going on right now, top of the sixth. This is good news for the Mariners. The Rays are up 3-0 on the Rangers in Tampa. Again, top of the sixth there. Bottom of the third in Cincinnati. No score between the Guardians and the Reds. Same is true for the Mets and Braves. That one in the bottom of the fourth, scoreless. Top of the second, Twins and Royals are scoreless in Minnesota. Top of the second in Chicago, the Yankees shutting out the White Sox right now, jumping on them early. 4-0 the score in that one, with the Cubs and Cardinals in St. Louis. Top of the second, no score there.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, the Mariners getting to it again tonight. Game 2 coming your way in about an hour. We'll turn you over to the pregame show. Right now, we get a chance to talk about this Mariner team with a man who covers them for MLB.com. Does a great job. He's here with us once again. Daniel Kramer is with us. How are you, man?
I'm doing spectacular. We're at Dodger Stadium, so life is good. This place is probably my favorite ballpark to visit. Just the beautiful Southern California sunshine, the history. It feels like anytime you're in this venue, you're covering an important game. So pretty cool.
Do they still crank the PA there, though? It's super loud down there.
At Dodger Stadium?
It's possibly loud. I thought my teeth were going to rattle out and just fall over my desk last night.
Yeah, because
thankfully, we got some noise-canceling headphones, so we're good there.
There you go. Yeah, because down in L.A. with at SoFi.
I've heard about that.
Oh, my God, it's brutal. But then I talked to Shannon about it, and she said, yeah, down in L.A., and she said it's like that at the Angels too, Daniel, so I guess it's an L.A. thing, huh?
Yeah, it gets extremely loud. The crowd gets really into it too. So just the atmosphere in general here, it's always at a pretty peak level whenever you're coming down here. So, and last night, a prime example for it.
Well, let's talk about last night, because that game on the heels of what was an absolutely dreadful series against the Rangers, and nobody feeling good about what was happening with the team and the offense still looking flat, and then boom, all of a sudden they hit 5 home runs in a game, and it's the Mariners that we've seen throughout the season. When they hit home runs, they tend to win. That's great, but you can't really rely on that to be your strategy. But what's your feeling about this team since the firing of Bobby Magianis, and do you feel like there's been a different focus offensively? Does anything look different to you beyond the home run barrage last night?
It's funny you say the word focus, Bob, because that is the word that stood out in our chat with Cal Raleigh post-game last night. He just described there being 1 through 9 focus throughout the entire game, that even as they were going back and forth and blow for blow with the Dodgers, knowing that they were going to have to keep their foot on the gas all the way to the finish line, he just talked about the focus being there throughout and not, going into any sort of panic or worry when, the Dodgers were constantly retying the game. And, even there in the 9th inning when things got really dicey and Shohei's on third base as the tying run with no outs, the focus transitions to Munoz, who's just been really electric over the past, 6-8 weeks now as he continues an upward trajectory. So I think that is what really stood out to me last night in talking with Cal, is just, the fact that they were able to sustain that focus throughout the entire game. Another thing he said too was you can't rely on 5 homers on any given night. And it was the first time all season that they'd hit that many in a single game. But nonetheless, you could see just how different, and it sounds so simplistic, but how different this lineup is when they are getting balls to clear the fence. And I think you saw with the first one of the night from Cal, a little bit of an exhale collectively from within the offense. Just even though it was a solo shot, and even though, Shohei had already hit a home run in the first inning off Castillo, the fact that it's okay, we're on the board, we still can do this. And, we have the potential to, break out the power, because we know that this lineup and has the talent and potential to do so, but to just get the ball rolling in that regard, I think, led to some contagious offense for the rest of the night. That said, it was really hot. The ball was flying. It was a launching pad here too. So really playing into the talent level and the the potential that this group has, it just seemed like they were all playing off of each other throughout the rest of that night. Julio, obviously following Cal, and then, Ref Snyder getting off the schneid in his first game back. Those are the three guys that you want to see those types of at-bats moving forward. Those are three guys that they really need to get going just on a more consistent basis, because you see that this offense is just totally different, with Julio and Cal in particular when they're producing.
Yeah, I think the last time they hit home runs in the same game was April 11th against the Astros. They won that game 8-7. But yeah, it seems like Julio and Cal getting home runs at the in the same game seemed to kind of light a spark a little bit. But I don't know, Daniel, we're always going, okay, they're going to turn around this weekend, or something happens, and then it's like, okay, this is a launching point. We're going to look back on this series. We probably do that, every 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
it's hope.
Yeah. So what do you think, Daniel? Are we at that spot? There anything other than that you saw that made you think, okay, this team, because we feel like they have the talent. It's just a matter of getting everybody firing on all pistons.
I mean, it just seems like we've had so many inflection points, especially this month, which has been a really tough, trying month for them offensively, to where we think, okay, this is where they're going to turn the corner. Whether it was Cal's grand slam last week or Dom hitting that 3-run homer on Saturday in Texas, last night would certainly fit the bill, especially in this venue against that team, who they were 8 outs away from playing last October. So, there is certainly the potential that we look back at last night being a turning point. But, as I've kind of written about and discussed for ad nauseum what it feels like over the past couple of months, it's just like we need to see this type of sustainability over multiple series, preferably over multiple weeks, to really know that they've turned a corner, so to speak. And, when you can get a win like last night's, that's great. And Cal made the point just as much as we could very well look back at this being, the type of game that really gets us going. But at the same time, he said, we got to come back out and do it again tomorrow. And Canzone said the same thing. So we'll see if it actually translates. But, like I said, the sustainability of them getting to where they want to go is consistently doing this and stacking series wins over an extended stretch.
So, Daniel, as we sit here now, and we got the trade deadline coming up 3 p.m. our time, Pacific time on Monday, have your feelings changed from day to day based on the outcome of games as to whether they're going to be aggressive, whether they're going to be passive, who's going, who's staying, kind of thing? It feels like most of the conversations or rumors, if you will, center around Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo. And I know Luis is a harder sell because of his age and his salary, and the Mariners would presumably eat some of that contract. But what are your feelings now versus, I don't know, on the heels of the Rangers series? Has anything changed, and what do you expect to happen?
I think the sentiment is that even if they had gone, 0-7 on this road trip, that they were still going to buy and still going to do what they could to add to this roster. And I think that's largely a reflection of the talent in that room and believing that the run that we just talked about is on the horizon at some point, but also recognizing the fact that, this is the only franchise in the league that hasn't been to the World Series. And so not capitalizing on these finite windows that manifest, that's just something that they're not going to do. So, I don't see any world where they sell, if that makes sense. Now, what they do in terms of going out and buying, the sentiment around the industry is that those two starters you mentioned are being actively discussed in trade conversations across the league. I don't think it's any secret, based on my reporting and plenty of others, that Luis Castillo would be the preference if they were going to move one of the two. If they were to eat some of that salary, they would have to get a legitimate return coming back. You could also see a scenario where they attach a prospect to Luis if the acquiring team is willing to take on, a chunk, if not all of that money. The thing about Hancock is, he's on league minimum. He's under club control through, I think it's 2030. Obviously enjoying a breakout season, and his trade value is probably never going to be higher. Probably couldn't have even imagined it being as high as it is right now, as recently as 3 or 4 months ago. So he virtually fits, any major league roster at this point, especially teams seeking starting pitching that are going to be under club control at an affordable rate for the next few years. So, it appears that they are more open than they've ever been to dealing from their rotation. Granted, it's because largely they have 6 capable, healthy starters. And we've talked plenty about just the complications of trying to make sure that everybody's getting enough innings throughout the season among that group. And then also the reality that, you have Kate Anderson waiting in the wings, who at this point they're anticipating a permanent arrival, next season for sure, and potentially a temporary one down the stretch here. Now, whether that's in the bullpen or how he fits, that still remains to be seen. A lot of that's going to be determined, probably based on how their roster looks coming out of the trade deadline. But, some of this philosophical change to how they're thinking about their starting rotation is a reflection of, just how many guys they've got coming, and, the fact that this is the most coveted, crop of their roster that they can deal from to go out and get the specific needs that they're looking for, which is no secret, a right-handed bat and some bullpen help. So we'll see. They're going to be active for sure. I say all that, and this market is just crazy odd because there's been 22, 23 teams that are all within shouting distance of a playoff spot. And so not really being able to decipher who the sellers are other than the obvious. And even among that group, who has the talent that's going to match up for what the Mariners need. So, and I say all that, and there are plenty of other teams out there that are also looking to buy a right-handed bat and some bullpen help. So it's not nearly as obvious as last year when they needed a first baseman and a third baseman, and there was one team that had both of those guys and had a good relationship with Jerry and Justin, and they were able to get it done. You could see that one coming from a mile away. I think this deadline is going to be a lot more murky and probably going to come down to the wire.
Well, and on that, the 2 names we heard most prominently in rumors, if you will, or just theories of who they should go for were Steer from the Reds and then Schmidt from the Giants, both of which are now hurt, and Schmidt's going to undergo surgery for torn meniscus. So feels like both those guys are non-participants in this now. So where would if their attention was focused on those 2, where do you think they turn to now?
Totally, and that's the complicated part of it too, is just the clearest fits on paper, at least, and the fact that they have a good relationship with the Reds in particular and do a lot of trading with them. It's where do you go from here? I mean, that's the $1 million question, and we'll kind of see how it plays out, and as more sellers become evident over the coming days, it kind of remains to be seen. Another thing that Cal said last night, which I think has been pretty evident throughout this entire summer, but especially in this trade deadline season, is that the best improvements are going to come within. It's going to be up to the core of this group to be able to elevate the roster's floor and, continue to play to their potential. Because point blank, I asked them, does this feel like the most complete roster you've had going into the deadline since you've been here? And he essentially said yes. I expect us to add, but at the same time, it's going to take all of us in here raising our game to another level for us to get to where we want to go. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where a Gino or a Naylor's walking through that door as it was last year.
Hey, Daniel, Dom Canzone, I feel like most Mariner fans just love him right now, just because the home run he hit in Texas where he did the bat flip, and he just there was some fury behind that. And same with one of them last night. The other one, he was kind of looking to see if it was going to go out or not. But what have you noticed about him and his confidence? And we've talked to him a couple times. He's a great kid. But What is anything about him really stood out that he could this could be a launching point for him personally?
I really think the confidence is like the biggest thing for him right now. He knows his strengths as a hitter. He's been able to tap into those, and he's credited a lot of it to the hitting coaches here. You know, he was one of, the most disappointed in the decision to move on from Bobby Magianis. He had maybe the closest relationship of any hitter in that clubhouse with them, but also touched on Kevin Seitzer being an instrumental figure and helping him really figure things out of being an everyday hitter, especially against lefties. Both homers last night were against lefties. He's blossomed into, an everyday player regardless of who's on the mound, and, also hitting in the heart of the order, primarily out of the number 3 spot now when he's being deployed out there. So I think, it's just tied to obviously the adjustments he's made over the course of his career, not getting too down on himself last year when he got sent down to Tacoma to kind of try to figure things out, and really making the most of that opportunity to where now that he is, like I said, an everyday fixture, that he can, continue to lean into what makes him good. And, with reps and with results, that confidence continues to grow. And, another thing that I also think has stood out with him is just the fact that he is adding to his service time and tenure and production. You're starting to see his voice blossom more as well. These post-game interviews he does, he's gotten really good, really candid. Not that he was bad in the past, but just, wanting to say and do the right thing. And, just not having any sort of apprehension of speaking his mind and, telling it how he thinks it is. And so it's been kind of cool to see him find that groove in terms of, personality, and candor as his career has progressed, to where he's kind of been a must chat after successful games, and even sometimes some bad ones too. So he's been, I would say, within a very tough summer stretch for this team, easily the biggest bright spot.
Hey, quickly before we let you go, Daniel, I'm curious. We had Jeff Passan on the morning show yesterday, and he basically said if Dan Wilson were not a Mariner legend, he probably would have been fired by now. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But what do you make of Dan's season and are the playoffs? Is it playoffs or bust? We're looking at, that's his future. He's got to get there and make some noise, and the seat's hot, or it's not as hot as others portray it as being. Where do you put Dan in this whole thing?
At this point, I don't really see them making any wholesale change with him or with the rest of their coaching staff moving forward. Obviously it's been a pretty trying season, and there's been some challenges that have certainly cropped up that you could attribute to, how he's handled things. But at this stage, whether it's the 50th anniversary, celebration on the horizon, or the fact that he is a Mariners legend, I don't necessarily think that they're going to do anything holistically significant with the coaching staff the rest of the way. That's just the sentiment that I'm gleaning, with boots on the ground, so to speak.
Daniel Kramer from MLB.com has been our guest here with Wyman and Bob. Daniel, as always, great stuff, my friend. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Daniel.
There you go. Daniel Kramer again from MLB.com, Mariners beat writer. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab and click on our picture, and it's right there waiting for you after the show each and every night. And again, click subscribe because it's free, and then it just shows up for you. You don't have to do anything. It's perfect. By the way, I grew up as a little kid going to Dodger games, Angels games. I don't remember them being loud, but it could explain my hearing issues now.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a recent thing, but at SoFi Like the speakers are.
There I haven't been, but you've told me about that.
Oh my God. It feels like they're like 10 yards away from and they're right at our level.
Yeah.
And they just, I think to make up for the lack of Rams fans, they blast it so people can hear it like 12, 15 miles away. So, yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But I brought that up to Shannon. She's like, oh my God, it's like that at Dodger Stadium. And
I
then
never realized that, honestly.
Thing. Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, maybe they got an older crowd out there and they don't hear as well, so they got to crank it up. I don't know what's going on there. Meanwhile, there are two players who immediately stand out when you watch the Seahawks at training camp. We're going to get into who they are coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man? Put in the work every day, you know.
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
Hey, it's summertime, and if you're like me, you're spending nights on the patio, listening to the game, enjoying what makes our area so beautiful. It's Dave Wyman here, and I have just the offer for you to get the most out of your outdoor living space. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off your final project. I've loved working with Harley Exteriors. They're a local company right here in Bothell. They're down-to-earth people who enjoy the same things we all do, rooting on our local teams and doing the best job we possibly can day in and day out. So use Harley Exteriors to complete your home space and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing. You can get a hold of them by calling 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires July 31st, 2026.
This hour is brought to you by Fast Home Services.
My goal is what's best for the customer. You know, I truly believe that. I won't ever deviate from that.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
What if you had the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years, guaranteed? Well, thanks to Xfinity, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through August 24th, get their best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats and finds and fixes issues before you even notice them. No annual contracts or commitments, no hidden fees, and the best equipment included. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber, coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that.
How sweet it is! 50 seasons of moments. 50 seasons of legends. A once-in-a-lifetime event. Join Mariners past and present at T-Mobile Park August 7th through 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. The festivities begin Friday with a post-game slugfest, the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Saturday will be a showstopper. 50 Season Celebration Night presented by Daktronics. Arrive early to witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. It just continues. 505. The weekend wraps up on Sunday with a collectible 50 Seasons pin giveaway thanks to KeyBank. Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions. Seattle Sports.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father, not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Daniel Kramer of MLB.com, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you missed that conversation, it will be on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, taking a look at the Seahawks and, the value of some of these guys, especially on defense, look, I've made no secret. I think my favorite player on this team is Ernest Jones. I mean, I love all these guys, but Ernest Jones just loved how he fit in, loved that he was just such an impact player that you kind of came over in the middle of everything where you felt a little discombobulated, right? You brought in two brand new linebackers in the offseason.
Dodson and Baker.
And they got shipped out of town in the middle of the season. Kind of out of nowhere. Didn't see it coming. I didn't feel like that was on the horizon by any stretch. There was no whispers or anything, and then boom, all of a sudden they're both gone. And you're like, whoa.
It was kind of funny.
It was jarring.
I was like, wow. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, and then they work out the deal with Jones to come here, and then fast forward a couple games later, and all of a sudden he's like a leader on this team, and his impact has been huge. And then obviously we've seen how he played as a full-time member of the team last year, Super Bowl winner. We saw him stand up for his quarterback on just an absolutely dreadful day for Darnold, and he stood up for him in a way that will live forever.
Yeah.
that soundbite will live forever. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I think fans already loved him. But after that, I think that it was just diehard love. Like, this guy is an absolute gem.
He said it so, like, matter-of-factly, too. He's just like having a casual conversation, and all of a sudden he throws in there, and if you don't like him, then
bleep you. Yeah, and then but hearing how his teammates on that side of the ball talk about him. We had a chance to talk to Byron Murphy. Again, that conversation's on the podcast page. Definitely check that out. He's a great talker. But when we were talking to him, we were talking about Ernest Jones, and he explains how important Jones is to their entire defense.
First of all, he's a great guy on the field and off the field. He cares about the defense. He's a leader. Like he leads us, in the right direction. He always, even when we having a bad day or like in a game we have a bad series or something, he always there to pick us up. He always motivating us and keep us going. He keep us afloat. He really, he's one of the heartbeats of the defense, man, for real. Like shout out to Ernest Jones, man. He's the perfect middle linebacker. If you wanted a middle linebacker on your team, man, you should pick EJ.
That's how do you top that? I mean, that's a resounding vote of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. It's true. He does have every bit of leadership. He, you'll see him moving guys and making sure everybody's in the right position. He knows the defense inside and out.
He's 26.
Wow. I'm glad I kind of knew that.
Well, we
but
talked about really
it before.
Remember, because the way he carries himself, the way he talks, it's like. I feel like he's Leonard Williams, like he's 32, 33. He'll be 27 in a few months, in November.
Yeah, and God bless him. God bless him for going through. His father passed last year. His dad meant a lot to him. It was really tough, for him. So he's he's an old soul first of all, but then also just as far as football IQ, just incredible. But and here's the thing: I've also seen him like during games where. The interception he got against the 49ers, I think, was connected to a play that he read, and he tried to jump the guy underneath him, and they threw the ball over his head. And so, it was probably a quarter and a half later, he ends up making that adjustment and waiting for the guy to come on the vertical, doesn't jump anything underneath, gets the pick. 1 of 5 during the regular seaseason and 1 in the postseason. Mm-hmm. And I've been actually shorting him, saying, "Oh yeah, you got 5 interceptions last year. You got 6, man. One of them was in the playoffs against the 49ers."
Do they double count the stats? Like, do they double count it in that, like, an interception is also counted as a pass defended?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. So which is kind of weird. But.
Well, yeah, like a sack is a tackle for a loss.
Yeah.
It's because he had 4 tackles for a loss, but half a sack. Mm-hmm. But he had 7 passes defended, 6 or 5 interceptions on the regular season.
Yeah. So, there was a couple he knocked down. So, but, and you don't want
that long return, the 85-yard return.
Yeah, he was tired.
Yeah.
He told us, he's like, "Yeah, man, I was starting to get gassed there." But, ran a long ways. But, that's, you look back on his season and, it's like, wow, he just kind of steadily did his job, but he made a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
And he allowed others to make plays as well. So, Ernest Jones is a great inside backer. Shout out to John for, getting him, and Mike from like, "Hey, this is my defense, man. I need this. Let's move on." So they, kind of accelerated Tyrese Knight's participation. And then, I think at the other spot, that's going to be Drake Thomas. I think we'll see what Tyrese Knight looks like. And maybe there's, maybe it's Patio. Patio played pretty well when he came into that Tennessee game. So, and I'm trying to remember, did EJ miss a game last year? Maybe that was it. I think that's why he was playing. I think Ernest Jones did. I thought he missed a game. But anyway,
he played in, he missed a couple, played in 15 in the regular season.
Yeah, so there was a little bit, of time there where they were without him, but he's just a great leader and kind of sneaky good as far as, it's kind of like you look back and go, wow. I mean, 5 picks for an inside linebacker, that's huge. I mean, you're talking about like Ray Lewis was an amazing guy that could hit you and, got lots of interceptions. Jack Lambert as well, a guy named Donnie Edwards. So it's hard getting interceptions on the inside, and he does a great job.
Well, Mike McDonald was talking about him, and he was breaking down why Ernest Jones is irreplaceable when it comes to their defense.
Kind of the alpha in the middle of the defense, and he has such a great temperature and understanding of, like, when to push, what do our guys need and when in terms of messaging and, like, attitude, and just kind of sets the tone for the whole operation, let alone, like, patrolling the middle of our defense in the run game and the pass game. He's just he's the man. He's the man. He's having a great camp. He's in great shape. So we're excited to keep that going.
Yeah, he's I was telling you, and we talked about it on the air, just being able to stand that close to the linebackers when they're going through their drills with that sled that each side collapses, where they go right side and then they'll go the left side and they'll, punch it with both hands and then swim move. And, it was interesting watching them do it. First of all, how quick they all are and powerful, but he in particular stood out in that everything he did, there did not seem to be one area of his body that wasted movement. His feet, his hands, it was like, I've done this drill 8 billion times. It's second nature, just boom, boom, boom. And he was just gone. And everybody else was good too, but you'd see every once in a while, like maybe a second of hesitation, uncertainty, or maybe a slight stumble or just something that wasn't absolutely perfect. He was like watching a robot. And it was just so precise and so quick, and it was just different. It just looked a little bit different than the other guys who, again, that by no means looked bad at all. They looked quick. Drake Thomas looked really quick, but his was just so clean and so precise. It was like, okay, yeah, there's a little difference here.
Yeah, and he has a way of like popping people with his hands where he doesn't get overextended. Like he's super balanced and just everything is, he's never. You never see him like stumble or lunge or anything like that. It's like his feet are always underneath him, and he's a very skilled player. Like he was put on this earth to play middle linebacker.
So good. By the way, the Seahawks preseason home opener is August 15th against the Dallas Cowboys, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app to find out how. Now, if you don't have the app, no problem. Just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. You can enter every day to increase your chances. By the way, download the app. It's totally free. Contest runs through Monday, August 3rd. Meanwhile, we learned that one of our coworkers is really difficult to work with. Just one? Find out who that.
I see there's a couple of choices in there.
Well, there are a lot of options.
They're all difficult. One's really difficult, though. That's what we learned.
All right. Well, we'll find out who that is coming up next with what we learned. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Second-year guard, Gray Zabel. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning to you as well.
What will you notice from your position about the new offense?
Brian's came in and done an absolutely unbelievable job. He wants to build on what we already have, but put a new kind of little wrinkle to what he knows about football. And I think we're going to run the ball first, which I'm super excited about.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, you mind keeping it down up there, please?
KeyBank will meet you in that I need new neighbors moment.
Rick, it's your mortgage loan officer, Beth. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to let you know your home loan application's been approved.
Beth, you're always there for me, and not a moment too soon.
Are your neighbors bowling with grand pianos again?
And apparently raising livestock?
Ew.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 399797.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Amy Cox did something smart.
She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the Seattle Sports app or go to seattlesports.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
That's seattlesports.com/win.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
On BritBox, there is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads, grand manners hide secrets, and stakes are higher than seaside cliffs. Find places worth getting lost in on BritBox. Watch new series like The Other Bennett Sister from the world of Jane Austen and A Woman of Substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. When people come first.
This hour is brought to you by Fast Home Services.
This is a house of learned doctors. What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
We learned that one of our coworkers is really difficult to work with. Again, that's a long list to narrow down to who Lefko might be referring to.
There's really
trying to get me in trouble here. No, I just have one name.
You just have one guy who you think is tough to work with?
No, you guys think. We learned that today.
We think is tough. Oh.
Yeah. We learned that you guys think that Trevor, just a real pain. Just, Trevor Bond, our video guy. We learned today that he's just a real pain to work with.
Friday, we're doing a split broadcast. So, Dave, you're going to be out there at the VMAC. I'm going to be at T-Mobile Park.
Maybe we should switch it up just to be, crazy. I go to baseball and you go to football.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
Oh, you want to be with me? Sitting in a small booth for 4 hours.
Right now.
Exactly. That's why the split happened.
Is that why the motivation for that was the motivation for that comment? You were secretly saying, well, why do you get to be with Lefko?
Thank you, Dave.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did say that. I think I get Trev So,
and he's such a
Trev will be out
wild
there.
card. He's such a pain.
I know he is. He's
always,
he just walked out, actually.
He's
I
very
thought he was back
fussy,
there.
very high maintenance.
He's always yelling at people.
Yeah.
He's just aggressive. He's always so aggressive. No, he's really the opposite.
We're describing the opposite
he's
Trev.
He's very, very quiet, very, very kind individual. Yeah, he's just always in everybody's face, just yelling at people, being really aggressive. And
you remember when I over-imbibed at the Super Bowl?
Yes.
And I think...
Yes, I do, Dave.
I think pretty much everybody at the station was there.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, and I think... I said something to Trev, like, why do you look so depressed?
Yeah, you were like... rubbing the side of his face. Going, I'm always concerned about you. You look depressed. You look sad. And he was just kind of smiling, going, I'm not sad. I'm okay. Look at Lefko. He's got his head down. He remembers.
Yeah, that was... I went up. I apologized to him and Justin. And they're like, oh, yeah, it was fine.
What about Bump?
Poor Bump.
You apologize to Bump?
Man.
What did Justin say? He goes, yep, he's walking in cursive.
No, yeah, poor Bumpus was my roommate that night and
caretaker.
Yeah, he was so cool about it, man. I can't say enough about him. I mean, I got in the wrong bed.
Luckily, he wasn't in it at the time.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't. I mean,
you're not
maybe
sure.
I just chased him out. I don't know, but yeah. And then I thought that he had my bag because I couldn't find my bag the next day. And he's like, yeah, you can look through my stuff. I doubt it's there, but go ahead.
Go ahead and rifle through everything.
He was just very cool about the whole thing. So yeah, it was wasn't one of my finer moments, but it was fun.
But yeah, Trev was he just had a look like I'm not sure what to do here.
Yeah.
He's just smiling, going, I'm not depressed.
Wow, so we did learn we had a difficult coworker to work with.
Turns out to be Dave.
Oh, come on, I was easy that night.
Yeah, he was full of love for everybody. He was rubbing Adam's face too. Adam had some funny comments we couldn't repeat on the air, but
yeah. And then I texted him something smart ass, something to him like the next day. He's like, too soon, Dave. Too soon.
So good. What else did we learn?
Well, I guess along those lines, we learned Dave loves grass.
Dave was watching with such envy in his eyes. He was out there peppering the landscapers with questions.
I was.
What are you doing here? And what do you use for that? He's looking for tips at home.
Him and Trevor did a post practice breakdown. It was just about the grass,
about
and lawn care maintenance,
about lawn care and proper equipment.
Did we talk about that?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Good, because I usually talk about it.
That would have been funny.
We were trying to figure out, why were they laying down that one line of, it looked like soap suds?
Yeah.
And that's just to keep track of where you've been. It had nothing to do, I was like, wow, that's really weird. Is that some kind of powerful,
I fully expected to see you go up and start, what'd you call it, deadheading?
Deadheading, I couldn't reach him. No, but
did you try?
No, but yeah, they put their pots up too high. But last year, I was over there deadheading. You got to deadhead, man. You got to do that kind of dirty work.
You're just drawn to it. I see you just kind of wandering over, looking at them. And last year, you all of a sudden you're up there doing the maintenance for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
It's your passion.
I'm a horticulturist.
You like it.
Yeah,
you like that stuff. You're intrigued by the methods on fields, baseball fields and football fields. What do you do here?
Mostly, I want one of those really big mowers for my house, even though my yard is 10 square feet.
It would take two trips across.
2
You'd
swipes.
be done.
Yeah.
You have the roller to flatten it out, get the cool
right.
designs.
Mm-hmm.
Be amazing. What else did we learn?
Well, we learned that when you guys were talking about the NFL earlier, just kind of got into old men yelling at clouds.
Well,
But when the NFL's moving games all around the schedule, all of a sudden that scarcity changes. All of a sudden it does become like a part-time job, and you got to find which streaming service you're looking for, and blah, blah, blah. I think that the NFL is, I think they're expanding their schedule way too much. I think that at some point, not necessarily in the next few years, but at some point that will bite the NFL.
Oh, I could not agree with you more on international games. Could not. In the streaming, Dave and I, we're screaming at the clouds about that too.
Yeah, same here. I'm an old man when I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It's not more convenient. It's not. Technology is supposed to make things easier, faster, more efficient. That you can't channel surf. You got to log in. You got to. No, it's not. Still
Frank
true.
Schwab. Yeah, we found out he's one of us.
Yeah, still true. Don't love the international games, and having games on multiple streaming services is just a pain in the butt because you can't channel surf.
Yeah, or sometimes you try to watch the game and it's on Peacock, and you call in and wait online for like an hour, and they're like, "You have Peacock," and I'm like, "Yes, I pay for Peacock, but I don't have it.
It's not currently
here.
showing up."
Yeah. So yeah, that is a little frustrating. But no, really, what came out of that is that he agrees that like there's a lot of fan bases that are kind of getting screwed because they're taking away a home game.
Yeah.
So
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'd rather the home game be here at home in Seattle. I'm sure it's lovely to play in London or Germany or Brazil, wherever the hell they want to go. But nah, let's keep it here.
I got to admit, I did have fun on the international games, like going to Germany and going to England. That was pretty cool. But
I'm sure it's a fun trip.
Yeah.
But just that's for a select few. You got 68,000 people to go to that building.
No, I know. I'm like there's lots of people that are avid Seahawk fans, and then like instead of going on vacation, instead of going to Europe or whatever, they make it all about they're putting all of their extra money for entertainment and travel and everything into the Seahawks.
Yeah. Did we learn anything else?
We can learn something again real quick because you guys have been asking for it. We'll play the end of this here.
And if he's our quarterback, we got his back, and if I got anything to say, quite frankly, you.
That's not a recording of Bob laughing from before. This is fresh. It's like the 17th time we've heard it. Never gets old.
It doesn't. Can we get it? Have we talked to him on the show since then? I don't know if we have.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we gotta get him on for that reason.
Put in a request for him. I want to talk to him. Yeah, I love him. That's so good. All right, that does it for us. I want to thank our guests today, Frank Schwab and Daniel Kramer. If you guys missed any part of those conversations or any part of the show for that matter, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that. It'll be right there waiting for you. Meanwhile, you got the Dodgers and Mariners coming up next. We're going to talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob.
Just 5 days out from the trade deadline.
We honestly don't know yet what direction this is going to go.
This might be that time to once again go for it.
I agree. Now's the time for the Mariners to go out and be aggressive.
Deadline countdown. Just 5 days.
An additional bat will go a long way.
Yeah, I can see this going down.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Grill math is simple. More people to feed means more food and supplies and more reasons to save big. Get more out of summer at Chef Store with warehouse savings for your restaurant, food truck, or barbecue. Open to the public, no membership required. Visit Chef Store today.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends this Friday. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Justin's an avid skier, and a hard fall on the mountain changed everything.
I wound up tearing my meniscus, and then I found out that I also had osteoarthritis.
The pain was relentless.
Initially, it was probably a 7 or 8, but then it just continued and never went away.
It wasn't just pain, it was how he moved.
The biggest issue I had was simply walking. I could not walk without limping.
Others might have looked into surgery, but Justin chose stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. How's it now?
I'm back to skiing as hard as I can, and I don't even notice my knee anymore.
And the recovery?
Well, the biggest thing is I was walking without a limp within weeks, where I had been limping for the last year or so. Now I just feel totally normal. I feel like I can do anything that I ever did.
Before you choose surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member